Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me a lie, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. Come 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 vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather, be weather, be trippin', starting to control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish, loose Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games, whole world clueless. Selling they soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a slice, extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble, depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame, ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds, think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe, tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. Why do you try? We get them high. Take them high. What I do, come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Pass what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. The homie Carter presents in the building. What's up, y'all? This is the 160th episode of the Blerd Cave. We got a jam-packed show, y'all. We got a jam-packed show. We got too much shit to talk about, not enough time to talk about it in, but that's okay, because we're going to get through it. Carter, what's going on, pimp?
I saw that the Justice League was hiring, and right when I went to fill out my application, I went over there to see who was all on staff. It said, "Nah, I'd rather go work somewhere else."
Look, you said you rather go to Payback. You'd rather join Payback. I mean, I say, you know what? Honestly, the Justice Society is looking pretty good right now. Oh my God, yeah. So, before we, honestly, I kind of want to address it. Before we get into anything, one thing that I really loved about Dark Crisis #1 is they leaned into that shit we were talking about. See, they knew they had a nasty ass squad. They knew they had a squad of nastiness and just gross, just a downright unappealing. What was it? An uncomely Justice League squad.
You gotta stop trying to use that word. Stop trying to use that word in your regular day-to-day vocabulary. You gotta stop doing that. You really gotta stop doing that.
But no, like, look, Tim Fox was like, "Nah, pimp. It is."
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. When Black Adam got whooped, wakes up to see this team you done compiled and walked out the door.
Black Adam was like, "Nah, pimp, this ain't it." Look, you had Dwayne The Rock Johnson come in and look your squad up and down and said, "Who are these Rudy Poos?"
You just got hands laid on you, and somebody tells you they compiled a team for the run back, and you say, "Nope."
Lose my number. That man said, "Lose my number." Dude, how Black Adam sit here with a whole busted lip? I ain't never seen nobody with a busted lip. Because mind you, Black Adam got his ass toe up. This man came in with a whole busted lip and read this boy's whole squad. He was like, "Nah, that motherfucker sorry. We don't need 2 Blue Beetles." That man said, "This person gonna betray you. That person definitely gonna betray you. This person some slaw. This person even more slaw than that one." And he just, I was like, bro. Oh, damn it! It was nice. It was a nice thing to see. It was a very nice thing to see.
There has to be something said about somebody that just woke up from an ass whooping, looks at your group, and tells you, "Go get Nightwing."
Yeah, he's like, "Nah, Nightwing is now if you get Nightwing, I might." He kind of legit said, "Oh, you leading? Oh, well."
But just think about that for a second. You just woke up from an ass whooping. Okay,
your mind ain't right.
Okay, you know, you angry, you upset, you want that run, you want the run back, you want them to run the fade because now you know what you're dealing with, you know what to prepare for, and I swear I'm trying not to curse as much, but you see a squad of niggas and you say, "Nah, go get that Grayson, bro." That's how you know your team is just horrible.
Dude, that man said, "Nah." He said, "You ain't got no Dick Grayson." Nah, he's like, "I'm out." I'm out. On that note, though, man, we got a $5 super chat from the homie Go Contrary's baby's father. Said, John Kent said, "Join our Justice League Tim Fox in his Clay Davis impression." She. Oh, We also got another one from the homie from earlier. Let me see if I still got it up here. Yep, I still do. It says, am I the only one to bust out laughing when Shawty got hit by the hammer? Oh, Lord, yeah, he talking about Ms. Marvel. We're going to get to that here just a little bit, too. We also got Nick D with the 1999 super chat. Says, hopefully, the two of you can explain to me what that Black Adam trailer was about, because all I'm getting is it's an epic story about The Rock in a lightning bolt shirt. I mean, look, man, I'm going to be real with you. That is, yeah, look, I'll get to it here in a minute. But yeah, it's I don't think they've given us a full legit plot synopsis yet on exactly what's supposed to be going on. But we're gonna talk about it here in just a minute. We also got Jarrell Bose with $20 super chat. Says, have either of you seen what Monique has been doing to DL Hughley? Also, actually, it's funny you bring that up. I'll finish the super chat in just a second, but Carter was actually putting me on game about this a few days ago, and I was just like, the whole time I'm just shaking my head, just like,
The big Shirleys are angry, America. The big Shirleys are really angry out in these streets, okay? Kevin Samuels is gone, so he's not there anymore to keep them in check. The big Shirleys are out here, and they're angry, and they're enraged, and we have seen and experienced the reckoning, okay? First, it was DL Hughley going against Maybe I'm Big, Maybe I'm Not Monique. Who's next? Lizzo versus the world? The world may not make it.
Oh my God! Oh Lord! Look,
Honey Boo Boo make an appearance.
Oh God! Look, nah, you know what? Because honestly, she kind of fell off. They would get her mama. I don't remember what her mama's name was, but she was unfortunate looking. Anyway,
Ooh. Lizzo or Monique?
No, I'm talking about Honey Boo Boo's mama. Yeah, she was unfortunate looking. She had booty do. She was probably the first recorded case of booty do.
You could have left it at unfortunate looking, because that was as nice as it was gonna get.
I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, it says also, did either of you he said, "Do you brothers see how Corey Holcomb responded?" Said in New York, said, in my humble opinion, Monique is a monster and a user, and she proves no one helps her. Now, here's the thing. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was. It's not that no one helps her; it's that people know not to.
Yeah, people know better.
She is the equivalent of a hot stove, and people know not to put their hands on it.
Ooh, man, you just said it. But no, I was hollering because Corey Holcomb, a real one. He a real one. He put her on blast. Did you end up watching it? Yeah. No, he put that woman whole ass on blast. Like, honestly, if I was Monique, I would be too shamed to show my face anywhere after getting roasted like that. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, he said he didn't say anything that wasn't true. Monique ain't funny. Yeah, and not only that, she let that Oscar go to her head. She let that Oscar go to her head. She ain't been right since. Oscars don't mean shit. Let's just be real. Oscars mean nothing. You know how you want to know? You want proof that Oscars mean nothing? You want to know how much Carter? Do you understand the magnitude of how much they don't mean shit? Check this out. Will Smith slapped the fuck out of Chris Rock live on television, did not get escorted out by the police, still hung around to get his Best Actor award, and it took the Academy, what was it, a week? Almost 2 weeks to be like, yeah, you can't come back to the Oscars for 10 years, but you keep your award. That's how little they fucking mean. So yeah.
I always looked at the Oscars like, it was big. It was a giant ass award show for people who got the honor roll.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will say this: there's one area where having an Oscar matters for an actor, and that is you can technically use that award, whether you won or lost. If you were like, yeah, you always see Academy Award nominated actor, Academy Award winning actor. You can put that shit in front of your name and command more money when you're going through contractual negotiations over pay to be in something. But on the whole, them motherfuckers don't mean shit. But that's a whole other can of worms there. But you know what? I don't want to stand on too much ceremony because y'all have no idea. We have a lot. We actually have a metric crap ton of shit to talk about. Now we're talking about Sandman. We're gonna be talking about the Black Adam trailer. We're gonna be talking about Ms. Marvel, and we'll probably be talking about The Boys. Season 3, episode 4, maybe just a smidgen. I don't know. I might actually say, just for time's sake, we may push that to next week. And maybe we can talk about episode 4 and 5 collectively, because, while there was some cool stuff that happened, a lot of shit we saw in the trailers anyway. And then, we've also got, news on, the Joker sequel. We got news on the Thunderbolts. We also got, we were going to talk about Ezra Miller's crazy ass, but I don't think we have enough time or crayons to talk about that fool any this episode. I ain't got enough crayons, juice boxes, blankets, no nothing, because y'all gonna have to sit down for a while, and I just can't entertain it. We also got some Paper Girls news, and y'all know how much I loves me. Y'all know how much your boy loves them Paper Girls.
Stop lying, you ain't read that book.
Yes I have. I have read. Look, this junk is thick. I've read all of it. But we got a lot to talk about. Not enough time to talk about it because honestly, I feel like this is a show we could easily be here 6 hours, and I ain't having it. I got shit to do. So Carter, let's go ahead and get to the first thing. First things first. Y'all know the Sandman TV show. We technically we got a teaser before, but it was more of them just showing like a clip of the show.
Yeah.
It was like a clip straight out the show. They just kind of shows, and it was literally, I won't say shot for shot, word for word, but it was damn near close to being exactly like the comic, which I thought was really cool. But we finally got us a full trailer. And let's go back. Let's revisit that trailer real quick. Before we get into the show proper. And here, let me pull this up. So there we go. And I think we're ready for this. Let's go.
Ruler of the Nightmare Realm.
I know.
What are you doing here, Etty?
He's coming, isn't he?
A million fanboys just lost their mind.
Morpheus, the Mansa. You know the Sandman.
It's a fairy story, Etty.
He's no fairy story. He's back.
Good to know.
Put the gun in his hands! Open your hands, now!
She worried about this man's hands. He got his whole dick out in front of her.
Forgive me, sire, the palace, the realm. They are not as you left them. With you gone, the realm began to decay and crumble.
The dreams and nightmares no longer seem to recognize their monster.
I know.
You will remind them.
He's free.
He's out of his cage.
That crazy looking motherfucker right there. So August 5th is going down on them Netflixes. So let's jump into this real quick. Carter, how familiar are you with the Sandman? Have you ever read any of Neil Gaiman's Sandman?
I've read a tiny portion of the original.
Okay.
But I have read all of Sandman Overture. I actually have Sandman Overture because there were some interviews that had come out when that book had gotten announced years ago that it was a prequel. So I said, well, shit, let me read the prequel before I read the actual book. And as my luck would have it, it was a comic shop I was working at the time. You remember the really hard to find omnibus that was just 2 volumes and you had all of it? Mm-hmm. That was going for like $300-$400. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sad shit. I'm not bitter or anything.
So the Hastings I was working at in Arkansas, I had volume 2. Mm-hmm. But because Carter was dumb and didn't know any better, since I didn't have volume 1, I didn't realize how much I could get for that omnibus. I just gave it away to a friend of mine who wanted to read it.
Psh, this man.
But yeah, I've read a very small portion of the beginning of the original book, but all of Sandman Overture I do know about. And I think the one thing you said about fanboys getting angry, I gotta be honest, I don't think they are. I think it's going to be a very, 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 in this instance.
You are mistaken, sir. You are mistaken, sir. You are very mistaken, sir. You are, Carter, you are so mistaken that I have to buzz you. I'm gonna have to buzz you for putting up the wrong answer. You put up the wrong answer, sir. People are mad. People are in their feelings. It is sir. I'm gonna need you to open your eyes, look around.
Well, the only reason I say that is because
you're a rational human being. These other people are not, sir.
Well, you know how a lot of these comic book trailers and stuff like that, they'll have millions and millions of views. This one has on YouTube like 150,000. It really seems like this kind of went unnoticed, but at the same time, I don't know a lot of people. Well, again, I'm talking minority.
Yeah.
See, I think this is kind of like American Gods in a sense of not a lot of people know.
More people are familiar with the Sandman than they are American Gods. That is unmistakable. Even people who don't. Okay, so here's the thing: Sandman, when it comes to those avant-garde, like, I don't even want to call Sandman an indie darling because it's not. But like, it's one of those.
Vertigo, right?
It was Vertigo, which is now DC Black Label, but Sandman was one of those comics that was like a hardcore comic fans comic. Like, because it wasn't about, and I say that because it wasn't about capes. It wasn't about capes. It wasn't about, I mean, yeah, there were some DC Comics shenanigans here and there, because you had characters like what we have come to refer to as John Constantine, which, if you're more familiar with the way Gaiman originally intended for some of these things to play out, it's actually John Constantine, which is going to throw a lot of people off as well, because I think people have they've become so accustomed to him being called John Constantine that it just kind of stuck.
Would you say it was more so when you say hardcore, and would you say that because it was more so, it was a comic, but it was more so literature more than comic?
Yes. The Sandman comics were as close, I think, as you could get to, because when you used to hear people talk about, the Sandman, it was never like in a, oh, you mean that comic book, those funny pages. No, you didn't hear people talk about it that way. You heard people talk about Sandman like it was some higher ass goddamn art. And it was for the time, because it was a series that lent itself to the smart reader, and it's kind of like it's not a negative to people who don't read it or more into capes, because I'll be the first one to admit that's me. I'm one of those people. I actually prefer cape comics on the whole because, that's what I'm used to. I like non-cape comics, but it's one of those things that, cape comics are like a comfort food for me. Yeah, I can just consume a cape comic and I'll just be okay. My fears and my worries, my heartbreaks and sadness just wash away. It's like when you sit on the couch eating bonbons all day, just makes you feel good. But no, it just a lot of people now, kind of getting back to what we were talking about here just a second ago with what's going on with the Sandman in terms of the outrage, the outcry, mind you. I remember when they first announced the cast for this show, Lord have mercy. Folks lost they damn minds. Now, granted, let's be real here. A lot of people were being reasonable and rational because that's what you should be. There were some reasonable, rational people who understood that, well, for one, Neil Gaiman was involved with this. Neil Gaiman being the person who, wrote all of this shit to begin with. He had kind of already had a lot of the elements that people are upset about. A lot of those elements were already there. So, okay, let's look at this right here. Let's look at this. And I'll even zoom this out a little bit so y'all can see. Here, let's take it one more step. There you go. Here, I'll take it another step just to make it even fairer. So we got right here, we see, of course, we got Tom Sturges is going to be playing Dream, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Sandman. I swear this motherfucker has more names than fucking members of Wu-Tang Clan. But you got Michael Sturges, or not Michael, but Tom Sturges is the Dream, which, fine, perfect. That's actually a perfect cast. He looks like Sandman. I believe he's Sandman. I get it. But then people started getting upset when it came to characters like Lucian, who's being played. I'm not gonna try and fuck up that woman's name, but I'm just gonna say Vivienne, because basically they're mad because, well, for one, they gender swapped the character, and then for two, it's now the character is now black. People got mad about Death because Death is black on this show, being played by I believe it's Kirby Howell Baptiste, and then of course Rose Walker has been the race of that character has been changed. People got mad, which I thought this was funny too, because people got mad because of the character Desire being played by Mason Alexander Park, who is a non-binary actor, which is funny when you consider the fact that the character Desire is gender fluid even back in the comics, and this goes all the way back to when these books first came out. These comics are 30, or I won't say not all of them, because, of course, obviously, not all of them came out exactly 30 years ago, but this series started about roughly 30 years ago. So this isn't new. The character of Joanna Constantine, not really a new concept. But the thing is, people saw it, and they latched onto it. Now, those people probably aren't real, actual fans of the Sandman. They may just be fans of, Constantine as a whole. Maybe not so much Sandman, which is weird, because I feel like you get the lion's share of your John Constantine. A lot of people got the lion's share of their Constantine in Sandman, and then later on caught him in Hellblazer and so on and so forth. But people got mad about Lucifer being played by Gwendolyn Christie. People got mad about a great many other things. There's a nice little contingent of people who are upset.
Okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. Because you know why? You know why it's okay, Carter? Because Because fuck them, that's why.
I was just assuming that a lot of those people. I was assuming that a lot of those people that were upset were more upset because of the switch that it did. Because for a long time this was tied to being done by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then that ended up getting killed. And then I think a lot of people, when it comes to Lucifer, they're all going to think about the Fox and then Netflix show, and they want that. I think his name is Tom Ellis. They want him to reprise that role. You think you're going to have people that are fans of Constantine that probably want, I want to say Matt Ryan, but I don't think that's right.
No, Matt Ryan is the guy who plays Constantine on
okay.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they didn't want to go that route.
I totally get where you're coming from.
When I say I don't think there were a lot of people that were mad, I just think so. What you're naming sounds like a very, very minute minority of people, and the only reason I say that is just because I don't feel like a lot of motherfuckers know. People know what Sandman is. Mm-hmm. They know what Sandman is because anytime any Neil Gaiman anything is on a screen, from American Gods is one we brought up, and we see how that turned out. The what was the other one that I think you said was really good with one's a devil and one's an angel.
Oh, Good Omens.
Thank you.
Yeah, Good Omens is great.
Yeah, that's another one. So they're gonna know who Neil Gaiman is. But now that I've seen this cast, it's a lot of people I don't know. So I don't see why so many people would be upset. I think that's a great thing that you got a bunch of people that I don't know who they are. I know who Joanna Constantine is because of Dr.
Constantine.
Who. Okay. And didn't they reference that? I think they referenced that in Lucifer. Mm-hmm. So I think Lucifer called him that. Mm-hmm. He got tilted. Mm-hmm. But you got but you got Jenna Coleman. I know who she is from Doctor Who. I think there was another woman that was on there that's from Game of Thrones.
That's Gwendolyn Christie. Yeah, she's playing Lucifer.
Okay.
So just to even run it down, hell, we can even run it down here real quick. Because for those who don't know who we're talking about, here, let me pull this up. So for those unfamiliar, for those uninitiated, that is Jenna Coleman right there playing Joanna Constantine. And of course, one Gwendolyn Christie, and then here. That's Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer. People were upset about that.
Well, I read The Wicked and Divine, so pale white woman being Lucifer, that
no. Well, see, here's the thing. This was a case where people weren't so much mad that it was a woman. They were mad because it wasn't Tom Ellis. But the thing is, Neil Gaiman even came out and said the reason why it isn't him is because that Lucifer is at a different point. He's at a different stage in his life versus where Sandman takes place. The Lucifer that you see on TV is after Sandman. That's post Sandman. It's not the same person. He didn't even go as far as say they weren't even the same character. He just said they just are completely different places in their lives at this point. And of course, the people who got upset about was it right here, death. It's like, because people are accustomed to death being a little goth white girl. A little paste pale white girl.
Man, if that's really the case, y'all need to sit y'all down somewhere. I just finished watching all those Supernatural, and they had death on there as a sister as well. Her name was Billy. She was annoying as fuck. She was a horrible death, but it was a sister nonetheless. Yes. Sit down somewhere.
Yeah. Oh no. And like I said, people are mad about Lucien, who once again normally is a dude.
What have I seen her on?
You know what? Honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head.
We have seen her in something.
Oh no, we have. We most certainly have. I actually have. Matter of fact, I have the cast sheet. I actually have the cast sheet up right here. I can tell you what we have seen her in. But yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. The number of people Yeah, 'cause here it is. Vivian. Man, I'm gonna fuck her name. Is it Ashampong? I don't know. Anyway.
Enchanté, mon ami.
Exactly. So you remember? Oh man. Okay. You know what it is? I know what I've seen her in now. Now that I'm looking at her. Now that I'm looking at her. Her credits. And this is gonna sound green as hell. But y'all remember the remake of that movie, The Witches? That's what I saw her in. That's what I saw her in. I'm not saying that's what everybody else saw her in, because she actually has another Netflix show that she was on called The One. And there was another show I think that she was on called, was it Famalam? I'm probably saying that terribly wrong.
The One? She was in that Jet Li movie?
No, God, no. Not the TV show, Carter, the TV show. But no, like I said, a lot of changes have been made. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people were asking the question, well, what about the character? What about Dr. Destiny? Is Dr. Destiny going to show up in this? And the question, or rather the answer to that question is yes. We actually see it's a blink, and you will miss it shot of, I believe it's John D. is what he typically goes by in the Sandman comic, not so much Dr. Destiny. But you see him right there. As you kind of see it, I guess he's looking down at something that he is not happy about.
Isn't that the same doctor that's going to be in Black Adam that's Pierce Brosnan?
No, that is not Dr. Fate.
I just said that to make people mad.
This damn fool. We also got Boyd Holbrook. We see him for a brief moment as the character, the Corinthian. Who's going to feature pretty heavily in this. For those not familiar, the Corinthian is probably one of the weirder characters in the Sandman. If for no other reason, this dude has the most jacked up eyes in the history of jacked up eyes.
Okay, I do remember that because it freaked me the hell out. I do remember that.
And
I do remember that.
I've read some interviews. Boyd Holbrook said that they did an amazing job depicting. He's seen. Because obviously the show's not out yet, but he's seen the renders of what it's supposed to look like, the finished product, what his eyes are going to look like. He said it looks terrifying. But look at I want to talk about the set dressing though. Look at the settings, the way they're able to perfectly capture some of the places that appear in that comic. Like, dude, this is actually pretty freaking awesome, especially for a TV show. Yeah, a lot of people always expect, oh, TV shows look exactly like movies. This is one of the situations where it's like, man, they kind of close. I mean, you can tell, you can still tell it's TV, but it's you're like, oh man, it's almost there. You see some of these settings, it's just like, dude, this looks awesome. I like this. And once again, going back to Tom Sturges. I mean, he looks the part. He looks like the dude. He looks like the guy that, is...
This show is going to suck. He's not pale enough.
I was kind of happy. He's supposed to be white. He ain't white enough. Dude's supposed to be pasty pale. But nah, he's not. He's not. Sorry, y'all. That's not reality. I mean, to be fair, they probably could have done it, but I think for the same reasons that, and I think even recently Chris Hemsworth kind of confirmed some of our suspicions regarding the way that Gore the God Butcher is being handled in Thor: Love and Thunder, saying that talking about how visceral and cerebral Christian Bale's performance was, that he basically had people on set like frozen at times when he would come out on the set and perform. It's one of those situations where, like, when you have an actor who, and I've heard kind of roughly the same thing in regards to Sturgis's Dream, when you have an actor who can deliver like that, you don't want to hide them behind a bunch of unnecessary CGI or a bunch of unnecessary makeup. It just kind of is what it is. You just kind of have to get over it, deal with it. If you want pasty pale Dream.
Okay, you said that second part, and because I was gonna disagree, but you said that second part. People just got to get over it because I was gonna mention Thanos and with. But you hit the nail on the head. You just got to deal with it and get over it.
Well, and I would even say this: Thanos. I'll be brutally honest with you. Thanos. They toned down Thanos. I mean, does he still have the nutsack chin and the big ass head, the long jaw, and all that shit? Yeah, he still got it, and he's still purple. But here's the difference between this and that, and why a lot of people who want to use that as an argument are wrong. If you look at Thanos' face, I mean, it's still Josh Brolin. It's still Josh Brolin.
I don't understand what you just said when it comes to people being just shocked at what Christian Bale does acting wise. That man been acting his ass off for quite a long time now. Why are you shocked?
Well, no. Not saying they were shocked. I'm saying that, like, Chris Hemsworth was saying that, like, the performance he gave literally froze because, like, he encompassed the character.
But that was my whole point. This is Christian Bale. This is why y'all got him in that movie in the first place.
I don't
look at the Machinist. Look at how he acted a fool on Terminator Salvation.
You mean he did act a goddamn fool. He had the whole set scared. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, when Chris Hemsworth said that happened on set multiple occasions where people were like legit terrified of him. Before he clarified it, the first I thought it was like, oh shit, did he go off like he did on Terminator Salvation? But no, but they were saying like the way he acted, it scared them because he made them believe he was the guy he was supposed to be playing. And that's the thing, like, it sounds crazy to be surprised by, but honestly, I think a lot of times, and I've heard people say this very often, especially with in regards to a lot of the stuff that's going on with this show. A lot of people I've heard say like, "Oh man, yeah, dude, this guy is legit. This guy is Morpheus. He is Morpheus." Like when you read the comic and you come back and look at the show, they'll be like, dude, like that's what people have been saying. But I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not really much else to say beyond that.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to have another instance of, with everything that you're telling me that I didn't know about, that I wasn't privy to. I think we're just going to have another situation of The Witcher. You're going to have a group of people that have never read it, but they know what it is, that are going to absolutely love this. And then you're going to have a group of people that have read it or have only played the video games and despise it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's fine. Because you know what? They're still talking about it, is the fucked up part. I always like to use Captain Marvel as an example. Captain Marvel had an entire hate campaign against it. Multiple, and I would dare say dozens, and that's not, and I'm downplaying it when I say just dozens. Dozens of YouTube channels dedicated an entire year to a year and a half, if not longer, shitting on that movie before it even came out, and it still grossed $1 billion. You want to know why? Because they were talking about it, and I think they didn't realize that what they did they thought them talking about it was going to make people not go see it. People still want to go see it. They did the same thing with Black Panther, and guess what happened? People still went to go fucking see Black Panther. Both movies grossed over $1 billion. Hate campaigns don't work. They only, and honestly, I'll tell you this much. They only work when the movie is actually legitimately bad. Or whatever the thing is. Like, and what I'm saying is that they don't, like, in the case of things that are bad, yeah, they might still make some money, but they never really stick around. Case in point. You could take a look at, some of the lowest, matter of fact, what was it, there was a movie that came out not that long ago.
Morbius is trying its best to prove you wrong.
Shit. No, that's not a hate campaign. That was people fucking making memes out of it. That's not the same thing. But Sony definitely is, they're in the re-releasing business because they're putting Spider-Man No Way Home back out, an extended cut of No Way Home.
What the fuck is this version? I just read about this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna add it to the list of things to talk about, but I was like, we got too much shit to talk about. This is a nothing burger. Like it's basically extra scenes of Spidey, stuff that got left on the cutting room floor, and it will probably. And here's the thing. and I want people to understand me when I say this. When people hear about a director's cut, the first thing that pops into people's heads is, oh my God, they're going to add all these extra scenes and it's going to be entire minutes of a single scene. No, it's not. Usually what happens is it's a few seconds here, a few seconds there, maybe a minute here, maybe a minute there, a few seconds here, a few seconds there, and none of that shit lines up to even be within 5 minutes of each other. It's stuff that you probably wouldn't even have noticed had someone not told you it wasn't there. And I see that, Michelle, if you want to send us a gift, that is perfectly fine. I'm not going to tell you that you can or can't. Whatever it is, just DM me or email me, and we'll figure out what that is.
Yeah, but I didn't even know that, because when I saw people talking about Spider-Man, I didn't know there was supposed to be an in-game extended cut at some point.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Look. Unless that shit has some, like, earth-shatteringly new footage that's gonna change how I see the film, keep that shit to yourself. Like, it ain't like, okay, case in point. Is this gonna be like the Lord of the Rings extended cut where, like, there's actual scenes removed that add context to the movie? If it ain't, I don't care. And heck, I don't even watch the extended cuts anymore because, I'm sorry, I just ain't got time to be sitting through 3.5, 4 hour movies anymore. I just ain't got the time.
Remember when DVDs used to come out and just used to have this this menu you could go to called deleted scenes? What happened to that?
Yeah, that's honestly, that's kind of what I want to go back to. I just want to go back to, can I just have the deleted scenes separate and I just watch them when I want to? Like, you ain't got to fuck up the movie to put them back in. Because I'm not going to lie, a lot of the times, this is what I learned during the DVD era. Deleted scenes were often deleted scenes for a damn good reason. Sometimes the shit just didn't work. It made the movie too long, or it just didn't make sense, or it changed the context of certain things to what they didn't originally intend. So a lot of times, when I used to watch movies and I would go rush to the deleted scenes, I would be very disappointed sometimes. I think one of the rare instances where I was not disappointed was with Blerd. When they showed the alternate ending for Blerd, it's like, oh man, it would have been nice to have Morbius in a sequel. But it's okay, because no Mac worked out in the end anyway. So
I still have never seen that.
Oh, the alternate ending? It's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I can sum it up for you pretty easy. Basically, Blerd beats Deacon Frost. Him and old girl, they exit the building via a rooftop hatch. When they come out, Blad's like, cool, I beat the bad guy. She's like, cool, you did beat the bad guy. And she's like, but you know what? Looks like you back on the clock, big pimp. And when he looks across the building to another rooftop, he sees a dude staring at him in broad-ass motherfucking daylight. Now, granted, I think that what they originally intended was for it to still be nighttime, so that even though that scene was shot in the daylight, I think they were going to use a nighttime filter to make it look like night, or maybe they weren't. Maybe it was all just a point to be like, hey, he is out in broad daylight, who knows? But you see a dude in an all black, got a leather trench coat, black hair flinging in the wind, he got a mask up where you can't really see his face, and it's supposed to be Morbius. But they never used it because the minds in Marvel said, we want to save Morbius for a Spider-Man movie or something else, and then that never materialized. This is, like I said, this was back in, like, literally the time, like, we're talking Blade 1. So that was 5 ever ago. But anyway, getting back to, here, let's see here. I think we got some super chats in here I want to get to, because, yeah. I'm going back just to make sure we ain't missed anything. Before we move on to the next thing, I just want to point out we got Sky Yar coming through with the 13 months. Says, just show us appreciate for everything you do. You all do. Thank you so much, Sky. You're one of the real ones. We appreciate you, pimp. We also got Gabriel Knight with the 1999 in the super chat. Says, I'm working today until 5, but I want to show support to Blerd and Carter. I'll catch the full cave later. Let's get those likes up, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you
Please,
for reminding everybody.
Thank you.
We also got one from the homie Conway Berkeley with the $4.99. Says, get those I don't even know how to say.
Don't say that. That's how evil spirits come get you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Look, I ain't got my salt circle around me, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But what he said, get them damn likes up. Look, go mess around and summon the Sandman.
Yeah, he tried to get us. That was a setup. I caught that setup.
Look, all of a sudden, I'm gonna look behind me. It's gonna be a whole Corinthian behind me. We got Walter Baptiste with the 1999 Canadian Super Chat. Says, can't stay for long, but I wanted to show love to the Blerd family and the Carterinos. Get them likes up. See, man, they keep trying to tell y'all, but man,
we not using that. You can keep the Blerd family, but we ain't using Carterinos. No. No, we are most definitely not using Carterinos.
Oh, come on, man, come on, have a heart. We also
that's something Steve from Blue's Clues would call me. No.
Oh, no. Lord. See, now you said that. Now I'm sitting there like, yeah, we totally would. We got the Purple Lord Leo Anansi with the $17 super chat. Says, shout out to the homie Carter Presents. If I hate watch Black Adam, it will be for the JSA and to see the Pebble bore people to death. Damn, that is stone cold and harsh.
I got something to say about that when we get to that. I think I know what it is.
Okay, gotcha. We got X-Trib with the $5 super chat. Says, I'm here for any role that Gwendolyn Christie plays. Top tier white woman.
I wouldn't say that. I think she's a tall tier. I think you just want to climb that mountain. Which is fine. Climb it.
I mean, look, let me be real. She would catch that Hulk smash.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she would catch that Hulk smash.
If you want to climb the mountain, go watch that Sylvester Stallone movie Cliffhanger first.
But you know
Play
what?
the Super Nintendo game. Get your vest. Go. Matter of fact, watch that movie Over the Limit with Chris McDonald in it. You know, climb that mountain. Handle your business.
No, I'm totally into it. I would, no. Brianna Tarth would catch it. Believe that. Next up on our list, though, we're going to talk about. Let's get into the Black Adam trailer. Okay, so let's be real here. So Black Adam. This is a movie that has been in production hell for, 14, almost 15 years. As far back as when this movie was originally supposed to be made. When The Rock was signed on. And I actually learned recently, one of the reasons why this movie was put on the back burner for so long was because The Rock did not want to have Black Adam and Shazam try and feature in the same movie. Originally, the plan was, because some of you may or may not remember, way back, originally, he was supposed to play Black Adam in a Shazam movie, not a Black Adam movie. But apparently, he basically made the argument that both characters were too big to try to shoehorn both of their origins and character development into one movie, which is why we ultimately got a Shazam movie that really makes very little mention of Black Adam. Like, he's mentioned for like a scant few seconds and then gone. Like, they show you like a blink and you'll miss it part where like, oh shit, that's The Rock. And that he felt Black Adam should have its own movie, which, I mean, yeah, that's debatable.
I'm happy you said it. I'm so happy you said it.
I mean, but here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this because I'm not 100% against this. I honestly, it's one of those things I can take it or leave it. But the thing is, let's just be real here. I come at this from a wrestling mentality, not just because The Rock used to be a wrestler. It's because The Rock is a guy who, like many other actors who are larger than life, and him both figuratively and literally, You know how, remember we talked about Bright ways back, and we talked about how people hated Will Smith in that movie because he wasn't being Will Smith? Like, he was playing against type. And while I think that's admirable, people don't go see Will Smith movies to see him be a downer, a Debbie Downer. They don't come to see him being like a disaffected person. Not all the time, at least. It's kind of the same thing with if you go see a movie with Samuel L. Jackson, you expect him to get live and loud and say motherfucker at some point. Denzel Washington, you expect this man to go off at some point. You go see a movie with Christopher Walken, you expect him to act and talk a certain way. When you see certain actors in things, you expect certain things. And I think if they would have tried to put The Rock as Black Adam in a movie where he's just the villain, I honestly don't think that would have went over very well, because people would have expected him to be, and honestly, I think people are expecting to hear as well. And a lot of the criticisms I've seen people levy at this trailer and him playing this character are the same. People are expecting him, like, they're going as expecting him to be The Rock from wrestling. They're expecting him to be charismatic. They're expecting him to do the eyebrow and all the other shit, the shit that he typically does in the Fast and Furious movies, and Sean Hobbs and Walking Tall and all this other shit. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that don't look like it's gonna be the case. And I've been saying this for a long time, and y'all ain't been listening. Y'all keep thinking, oh no, he's gonna be The Rock. And it doesn't look like he's going to be The Rock. I mean, he's actually trying to be the character, which I respect, because Black Adam is not funny. He's not funny, and he's not charismatic. He's kind of an asshole, and he's very, like, I don't know. It's one of those things, hearing some of the criticisms I've heard people say about this, it's one of those situations where people kind of telling on themselves. Like, when I hear some of these criticisms, like, okay, so you ain't never really read nothing about Black Adam. That's what that tells me. It's the same thing I said to people when they criticize the parents in Ms. Marvel, or like the tone of the Ms. Marvel show. I was like, you telling on yourself, because you basically telling me you ain't never read that comic. But it is what it is. Point of the matter is, The Rock he's trying to be the character. I can't be mad at that. But, Carter, let's run through this trailer real quick. And, yeah, this is the official trailer for Black Adam. Oh, wait.
That's a Twitter page there, Ernie.
I'm aware. Thank you, Captain Obvious and the Dead Giveaway Gang. That's your new name, Carter, Captain Obvious.
Apparently, it's the Cardigans. Oh, I kind of like that one.
Lord. Alright, love fool.
Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Now, I kneel before no one.
Everybody in that room got fried.
This world. Heroes. And they're villains. Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do.
Dude, I just want to stop it right here real quick, because that motherfucker literally just told me, he's like, bitch, who is you? Honestly, if he would have came out and been like, who in the blue hell are you? That would have been it for me. I ain't gonna lie. But like I said,
couldn't have took him serious with just rocking the Harvey Bird, man. I couldn't take him serious. I couldn't take you serious.
I mean, look.
Attorney at law. I can't take him serious.
Man, look, man, you better go and get on the case, sir. Oh my god, I'm dead. But no, I'm sorry. I just had to say it real quick, because it's like, this is like, honestly, this scene right here is the closest you gonna get to the wrestling version of The Rock in this movie, because honestly, I think he probably had to fight not going into the Billy Gunn promo right there. But anyway, carrying on. Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I want to go back just real quick, because something happened there that just it warmed my heart to see. Here, hold on. I just right here, like, now I want you to look at this dude's face. Oh, let's go back. This dude is looking at this, and he know he done fucked up. Like, he know he done goofed. He knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that he about to get sent to the Shadow Realm. Carter, would you hit this face with that billy club like that?
When I saw it curve into his skull and he's still staring at me like that, I would have ran already. I wouldn't have moved the stick out the way. I wouldn't have looked at the stick. Once it did that, it was out of my hand and I was down the street.
Meanwhile, our boy, he's sitting here getting ready to catch it. Oh, Lord.
You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world.
I'm not gonna lie, that part I could tell was CG.
That's up to you.
Oh, y'all don't act like y'all ain't happy to see The Rock.
Did he just catch a rocket? He got a rocket.
Dude, he blew up that mystery machine. So we got, what was that, October the 21st, Black Adam incoming.
So can I say something?
Sure, go ahead, Carter. Say something.
So you're saying that a lot of people were nervous that The Rock is going to be The Rock in this and they have nothing to worry about because he's actually trying to be the character.
Mm-hmm.
Watching that trailer, and this is what I was referencing. There's one thing I think could really save that movie, because right now, a lot of the stuff that happens in it, knocking planes out of the sky, uppercutting people, just larger than life things. We've seen Hobbs do these things in several movies.
Well, I won't say we've seen him punch. We haven't seen him punch an F-14 Tomcat.
No, but what I mean to say is we've seen The Rock do larger than life things when he's just supposed to be regular man in other movies. So I think that's one issue to where, okay, it's just The Rock being The Rock. I think another thing is him not wanting to be in Shazam, I think, is a case of this is, and I think you'll kind of agree with me in this.
I might.
This is my time now.
I might not.
Well, what I mean is,
I'm joking with you, sir.
No, because I'm trying to make sure I say this right.
Okay.
Because you brought this man up earlier, but I'm not Will Smith. You're not gonna Suicide Squad me. Will Smith had his time where he was top dog. This is my time. I'm top dog. I'm not going to be just a one-note villain and a one-off Shazam mutant. I want my own thing. This is you're paying for Dwayne Johnson, so you're going to do a Dwayne Johnson thing, so he's going to get his own film. And I completely agree with that. Him not wanting to be just another star amongst other people. That's completely understandable. You know, of why he wouldn't want to be in Shazam, and he would want to do something like this. People, but back to my point, people afraid that he's going to just be the Rock in the movie. I think, yeah, because a lot of what you see is like, again, larger than life things that we've seen the Rock do in other movies. My thing that I think will clutch this movie, spoilers for Jeff Johns' Shazam run. But in Jeff Johns' Shazam run, it was somewhat the same story. His son died for him to get this power, and now he's going to use it, you know, blase, conduct, whatever the hell. The twist in the Jeff Johns story was that his son did not sacrifice himself so that his father could get that power.
Right.
He killed his son to get that power.
Right.
If that's where this goes, I think that will save the movie. Because if you're watching this movie and you're going to have Black Adam kicking ass and he's going to save whoever this random white woman is that's in all the scenes. We got Harvey Birdman that's going to help
that
him.
Woman's not white.
No, you're missing what I'm saying.
No, I just wanted to point out that I was like,
no, you're missing what I'm saying. But
I'm not missing what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying.
A lot of people are going to say that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's fine. I'm just saying that she ain't white.
Oh no, I know that. Those are the same people that, like, if you've seen Power, everybody went at Ghost because he left Notori Naughton and went to the white girl that was his high school sweetheart, even though that girl was about as Latin as she wanted to be. That girl was about as Hispanic as she wanted to be. But people are going to say, okay, he just going to save the white woman, and the Black Hawk man is going to get whooped. You know, we got James Bond in there. We got the Atom in there. So
actually, that is not the Atom, sir.
No, that's what a lot of people are saying in the comments. Did you read those comments?
I don't have them up right now.
Everybody's up and down.
Everybody, this is not the Atom. This is a character. See, this is how I know y'all don't read JSA. This is a whole Atom Smasher. Atom and Atom Smasher are not the same person.
There are so many people that are saying the Atom. There are so many people that said, damn, that dude from Legends of Tomorrow is in Black Adam. I have read so many comments like that. But honest to God, I think that twist, I think, will really be dope if they do it. And plus, I mean, just going back to Shazam, I wouldn't have wanted to see Dwayne Johnson in that movie, to be perfectly honest.
Well, no, they did a good job with what they did.
No, not saying that, but just looking at the tone of this, I wouldn't want them trying to do this and the fun Shazam movie at the same time.
Well, no, and I think that's honestly more the reason why they didn't do it, because I don't think Rock doesn't have a problem with being in a movie with a bunch of other people. That's not the problem, because he's been very vocal about the fact that he does want to do movies with Henry Cavill, that he wants to do movies with Ben Affleck's Batman, he wants to be in movies with the Justice League, so on and so forth, Green Lantern, this, that, and the third. It doesn't have shit to do with the fact that he doesn't want to be in a movie with a bunch of other people. What it had to do with the fact is that he actually gives a shit about the character. Like, he is... The Rock has put the cape on, literally, for this character a lot over the last decade and a half. He has gone well above and beyond the Call of Duty to try to make this movie happen, and it is, against all odds, it is finally happening. But I, once again, just based on the fact that in the time since the announcement of this movie even being made in the first place, Black Adam has changed significantly. Even since New 52, like, a lot of people think that his turn in the Justice League is kind of like out of nowhere, but I mean, honestly, he's still the same character, like, kind of like how a lot of people just kind of ignore the fact that Doctor Doom used to be like a mustache twirling villain. That now he's more of a villain with nuance, who sometimes is a good guy depending on what the circumstances are. Like he's just a convenient ally when he wants to be. That kind of thing. The same way we just kind of let all them years where Magneto was just a whole ass fucking maniacal mustache twirling villain.
They're
and
basically acting like how Jordan did when he saw Black Adam in Dark Crisis. Like,
yeah, no, that's exactly
get
like
the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, it's like, man, dude, what are y'all doing? It's like a whole Black Adam in here, and everybody's like, bruh, where you been? Black Adam over the years has changed significantly. He has become a character. He's become less a character who's a villain and more a character who is just, what is at stake? Are you harming his people?
That's a good way to describe it. That's good one.
Are you hurting his people? Are you infringing upon his country? That is going to determine whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. You can make the same argument for Dr. Doom. Are you fucking with Latveria? Because otherwise, it's whatever. He going to kind of do his own thing, and then, if he pull some bullshit later, then he pulls some bullshit later. But for the most part, Dr. Doom tends to keep to himself. And Black Adam is kind of the same. He keeps to himself for the most part. And him, say what you will about the current Justice League run, but one of the things I actually found kind of endearing about it is how he responded to Naomi. The way he's responded to various other characters on the team. He's kind of grown to be he's still an asshole on the team. He's still the asshole. Let's not get away from that.
Did he look at her and be like, why they do your CG like that on that CW shit?
look, bro. Look, you know what he did? Look, he saw that CG and was like, he was like, this is a crying shame. Look, you know what? I love to. I almost wish they'd have put this in here when John was trying to show off the team to Black Adam. I wish he would have been like, man, you ain't even got Naomi in here, man. What's going on? What's going on, pimp? But no, I will say, one of the things people kept bringing up was, what's the threat? What is the threat of this movie? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the threat of this movie is.
And that's great.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Because here's the thing. What I do know is that Black Adam, I can pretty much say, just based on the things we've seen in this trailer so far, Black Adam is going to be the character who, as we saw earlier, the JSA are going to end up butting heads with him because they're going to see him as a bad guy. They're going to see him as a person causing problems, so they're going to try and come in and take him down. We've already seen in this where Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, as the Kent Nelson version of Dr. Fate, he comes in and he's like, hey, I've had these visions. And he pretty much implies you're a part of them. Somehow, you have a part to play in this, and we're going to figure it out. And then it kind of goes from there. There are apparently forces at work that want to take him down. There are forces at work. They're apparently doing all kind of crazy shit in Kahndaq. We've even seen this teased. In Peacemaker. There was a newspaper clipping in one of the episodes of Peacemaker talking about something going on with Intergang in Kahndaq, and this was actually confirmed by James Gunn to actually tie in some way, shape, form, or fashion to the Black Adam movie, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Intergang is kind of a thing in DC Comics. People tend to sleep on them, but they are a thing. And once again, a lot of the different characters, this is going to be, honestly, here's the deal. This is basically a JSA movie. They're just not calling it a JSA movie. It's basically Black Adam featuring the JSA. That's really what this movie is. And I'm okay with that because I like the JSA. I think the JSA are a cool superhero team. Actually, I find the JSA preferable to the Justice League a lot of times.
You think this will be like the hit movie?
I don't think
Shazam was a good one. Or Shazam was solid. Aquaman was solid. But do you think this would be the hit with that star power with it? Yes and no. And the reason why I say yes and no is because I think the movie will be very good. I think Black Adam will actually be good. I think a lot of people will be surprised by how good it is.
The reason why I think it's not going to be the hit that it could be is because people there are already people not wanting to give it a chance. And here's the thing, I swear to God, I hate the age that we live in right now. I both love it and hate it because, man, we're getting to see the things we grew up reading on the silver screen, on the small screen, in ways that we never could have imagined before. And yet somehow, it ain't good enough. It's never good enough. It's rarely good enough. And even when it is good enough, there's always going to be those groups of people who are like, this is trash, or it's terrible. They don't want to give it a chance, just offhand, just dismissing it because, as we said earlier with Sandman, people being mad about some of the changes to the characters, the actors that have been cast to play some of these characters, just dismissing it without even actually seeing the finished product. Like, they're judging the entire thing based on just trailer. Now, don't get me wrong, because I know what some people would say. Well, Blerd, what about Gotham Knights? Y'all clown Gotham Knights without actually seeing it. But here's the thing. Here's the difference. The difference is, when I saw the trailer for Gotham Knights, I could literally tell it was going to be bad.
I don't even want to cut my camera on for people that are going to try to argue against Black Adam and want to put Gotham Knights in the ring. I don't even want y'all. I don't want to look at you.
Look, let me tell you something. Even the folks making the Gotham Knights video game, as garbage as that shit looks, they don't even want to be associated with the TV show. The studio making the Gotham Knights video game, WB Montreal, recently came out on social media and said, we have nothing to do with this TV show. The TV show and this game are not connected. Now, they said it in a very nice way, but that tweet was basically to say, please don't confuse us with this hot mess. Because they did it roughly around right after the time that the trailer had come out. Now, go ahead, Carter.
No, I'm just going to say Sam in the chat saying that we've become spoiled. I don't even think it's just that. I think it's also, we live in a time where people are, number one, sensitive to a lot of things that when you and I were growing up, we would have thick skin. I also think it's just the fact that the time that we're in now, negativity sells a lot more than positivity.
It gets a reaction. It gets a reaction way faster.
Yes, and I think there are going to be a lot more people who want to. Honestly, I don't know a better way to say this. There are going to be a lot more people that want to follow the negative shit. They'd rather be followers than actually enjoy something or agree with the other people that may enjoy the thing that they enjoy. Negativity sells a hell of a lot more than Ernie and I saying that we both think this movie is going to be a hit and it looks really good is going to make traction, but not as much traction as people that are going to clown every single person in this movie. Dwayne Johnson sucks. Why is a pro wrestler in this? No one cares about Pierce Brosnan. He's not James Bond anymore. Who are these weirdos? That's going to do a hell of a lot more than he and I just say, it looks like it could be good. Because in this day and age, negativity it sells a lot more than someone actually being sincere and nice.
Yeah, well, no, it's the thing that, considering what we're about to talk about next, with Miss Marvel, that was the thing that came up. Was there were tons of YouTube channels, some of your usual suspects, people like the Quartering or Nerd Erotic and Young Rippa, your usual suspects, dropping videos, getting hundreds of thousands views with hundreds of thousands of likes because they were being negative about the show. Because and I'll be fair, not every one of those views is someone who agrees with them. It's sometimes people who see that shit and they click on it because it triggered them. Like, there is something about it they saw, it flipped a switch on them and they clicked on it just to maybe leave a contrarian comment to what they had to say, or to see what it was they had to say and see if they agree or disagree. But that's kind of the thing. Like, I've noticed instances where I've been negative about something. people seem to gravitate towards them more. I don't like that because I don't like sharing. I don't like creating negativity. That's why I try not to do it very often, unless it is well warranted. But yeah, that is the thing. But yeah, as far as this movie goes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not going to go see it when it comes out. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not interested. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I wouldn't go see a movie with The Rock in it. I mean, shit, I've seen lots of movies with The Rock in it. Some of them good, some of them okay.
If we get the twist, that'll make it worth it. Because I don't think we've had now this is a very big if. They may not go that route because this is DC. They're not going to show him killing kids. This is The Rock we're talking about. But if they were to go that route, that would be something fun. That'd be something different because we haven't seen bad guy Dwayne Johnson since fucking Doom movie.
That's true.
So,
and honestly, it was terrible. I don't want to see that again. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it. Now that you brought that up, I don't want to see that again.
That movie was just kind of.
It was. Yeah, that movie was bad.
That's a sci-fi original right there.
Look. I remember when they came out with the more recent Doom movie, I was like, you know what, this isn't like a perfect movie, it's not a great movie, it's not even a good movie, but it's dedefinitely better than that other one. But I thought about it, I was like, it's not like they had to try very hard.
I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah, there's another Doom movie. It's actually more in line with the video games, but not by much. I think it's on Netflix, maybe. But you know, let's move on along. Actually, before we do, let's here I want to kind of comb through things. Let's see, we got some super chats in here. I wanna get to right quick. We got $1.99 super chat from Legion. It says, who will win in a fight, me or Dr. Manhattan? Well, it depends which one of your personalities shows up. Which one of your
that was quick.
I mean, I'm just saying, which one of your personality shows up? Because I mean, you know, honestly, it's one of those deals where that would. I almost kind of feel like, why fight? Why not just sit down and, maybe share a bag of Lay's like Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd in those recent Lay's commercials, and just have a good time. But no, yeah, it would depend on what personality showed up. Ed Boy in the Cup with the $5 super chat says, it's funny you talk about Doom. I'm reading Gillen's Thor run, and Doom was going straight Jack the Ripper on the Asgardians. It was bloody too. Well, no, and that's the thing. So, and that's the thing, dude. I haven't revisited Gillen's Thor, and it's been a little. Now, I won't say the longest amount of time because I did go back and read a little bit of it recently for some videos, for some context and some things. But yeah, man, Gillen's Thor is pretty nice. But no, yeah, Doom, depending, it like I said, it also comes down to who's writing Doom at the time. Doom is only as evil and villainous as the person who's writing him wants him to be. He could be perfectly fine and rational, but yeah, usually the thing is with Doom, he's always going to kind of revert to his own self-interest. That's kind of what makes him the bad guy more than anything else. It's like, well, if you go back and read the Children's Crusade, he's actually the benefactor for a good portion of that book, albeit a weird one. And then when it finally serves his self-interest, he flips the script. And he's like, oh, by the way, it's you know what it is? Trusting Dr. Doom goes back to the same Scorpion the Frog analogy that I used in one of the Punisher videos, one of my last Punisher videos. Those who don't know the story of Scorpion the Frog, basically the Scorpion's like, hey, Frog, can I ride you back across the river because I can't swim? And Frog's like, I don't know about that. You might sting me. And then the Scorpion's like, nah, I wouldn't do that because if I stung you, then I would drown too. And Frog's like, yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I'll hop on my back. And they go across the river. About halfway across the river, Frog feels a sting. And he's like, but why? We're both going to die. And he's like, sorry, man, it's in my nature. And that's a Scorpion the Frog. Even though technically by today's standards, you could make a case that one could fight back against their nature. But, that's another story altogether. Yeah, neither here nor there. We got another one here from Seafong, Architect of Sin, with the $5 super chat. Says, thank you, Blerd and Carter. I needed some good laughs on a boring day of work for me. More love to these brothers and likes for the stream. We appreciate you. Thank you for that, man. We appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, let's be real here. I think a lot of the time that people will go see this. It's The Rock. People will go see it. Will as many people go see it as I don't know. What's the next thing coming up? Thor: Love and Thunder. We got coming up. As many people are gonna go see Black Adam as are gonna go see Thor: Love and Thunder? I don't know. Maybe. I would like to believe the closer we get to that time, it's coming out in October, so even further removed from the pandemic. I think Marvel movies have kind of proven that general audiences will go see films in theaters if it's something like big. Honestly, for as much as Hollywood has criticized superhero movies, they're almost single-handedly responsible for keeping the movie industry, at least the theater industry, alive. Say what you will, your Martin Scorsese's, so on and so forths. But yeah, I think people will go see it. I honestly, I just feel like people need to calm down. I mean, yeah, do bad superhero movies still come out? Yes, they still do from time to time. But oftentimes, I don't think the movies people get angry about, like get so vehemently mad about being bad, I usually don't think they're as bad as people think they are. I think they're just being hyperbolic a lot of the time. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move along. Let's talk about Ms. Marvel Episode 1. Disney Plus, they dropped it same day as Kenobi, which was weird and made me have to make some choices. But that's okay, because I'm a grown-ass man. I stay up late. I stayed up and watched it, and was pleasantly surprised. Not because I thought it was going to be bad, but I didn't know how much this show was going to skew towards the comics. I know Sana Amanat, one of the co-creators of Kamala Khan, she came out and said that, yes, this show is very much going to be indicative of the Kamala Khan that you see, that you're used to seeing in the comics, the same Kamala Khan that we all fell in love with back in Ms. Marvel Volume 3, number 1. This is the same character, albeit just in a live action format. I didn't really have many concerns about this. I was fairly confident this was going to be fine. And a lot of people were upset about the power changes. I didn't care. It is what it is. I get why they did it. And it doesn't have to do with Fantastic Four. That's actually been confirmed. But the first episode, and off rip, I already see signs that I'm going to love this show. Just in the first few seconds. When we kick in with Kamala Khan just going into her fanfic and doing her thing. We find out she's a YouTuber, and that she makes content, and she has all these crazy ideas. Her imagination's running wild like Hulkamania in the 80s, just like it does in the comics. And you see here there's a shot where she's imagining the Battle of Earth from Avengers Endgame. And when Captain Marvel comes down and takes out one of Thanos' flagships and all the other craziness that goes on from there. Also, a thing that was technically a nod towards Captain Marvel herself, but a thing that I also thought was interesting for no other reason, that I kind of felt like it was a little bit of an Easter egg for those that were eagle-eyed enough to catch it, was when we saw this shit right here. Now, granted, it was mostly just to kind of point out Captain Marvel's hairstyle, but some people might remember a character if you did read the early Ms. Marvel comics. You'll probably recognize a character by the name of the Inventor. That was the first thing I thought about when I saw that damn bird hit the screen. But that's neither here nor there. Point of the matter is, let's keep going through it. She's got the same personality. She's a daydreamer. She's always thinking about just superheroes and the Avengers and everything. Like, she's seeing Captain Marvel everywhere. She's trying to come up with her Captain Marvel cosplay with her homie Bruno, which I saw a lot of people criticizing that the character Nakia doesn't feature very heavily in the first episode or the second episode for that matter. One thing, and maybe because Carter, I don't know, how recently have you read the Miss Marvel, like the earlier Kamala Khan Miss Marvel comics?
The earlier Kamala Khan stuff, when they had just started, a few weeks ago, just to get caught up on the show. And disappointingly enough, I have still not seen Miss Marvel or Obi-Wan yet, just because I don't have Disney Plus, number one, and that website that will not be named that I put you on game about. It was on there, and then immediately got taken down. So I'm like, okay, Disney.
Oh no! Look, Disney came in and went, get that shit off of it. But
I saw the beginning of Miss Marvel when she was talking about the Avengers, and then it just cut off.
Damn. Well, I'll get you the hook up. But no. So for those who don't, so you know the character I'm talking about, right? Her friend Nakia, her female friend that's also Muslim. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so that actress, I don't know if I actually have an image of her right here, right now, at this particular point in time. Actually, I do, actually. So for those who are wondering what I'm talking about this actress right here. A lot of people complained about how, she's not in the show as much. She's supposed to be like her best friend. A lot of people don't realize that in the comics, this character is not actually around Kamala all that much. I mean, she is, but mostly for the Muslim side of things. Like, when it comes to, like, the superhero stuff, the superhero shenanigans, and her trying to, talk about her favorite comic book stuff and superheroes and whatnot, it's typically Bruno who she's hanging out. Like, honestly, those first 5 issues, she's actually hanging around Bruno a lot more than Nakia. But not to say her and Nakia aren't cool. It's just, I think a lot of people misremembered how much they hung out in those early goings. But no, getting back to it, getting back into the show. Yeah, everything was about kind of what we expected. I mean, they don't necessarily confirm that the band that Kamala Khan is holding on to is one of the quantum one of the quantum bands or anything, though it does kind of have a resemblance in a certain way. And while they do kind of find a way to make it look a lot more like it has a more Pakistani background, there are some little subtle things in there that if you wanted to, I could see you make the leap in logic that the symbol, which I don't remember the exact name of the symbol that is right here, but it is actually a fairly common symbol that you would see in like East Indian and like Muslim culture. However, one could also make the case that it's the same as the Star of Hala or the cosmic star that the original Captain Marvel used to wear on his chest. So you take that how you wanna. But one of the things I liked about the show was, I saw some people say, "Oh man, this has like a Disney, it has a Disney Channel or a Nickelodeon vibe to it," and it's like, well, I guess maybe, but I don't take that as a negative. Like the fact,
that's not a bad thing. How many episodes of Even Stevens I can watch right now, bro?
Right? I'm about to say not only that, but dude, y'all some of the same motherfuckers are talking about That's So Raven. I mean,
some of the same motherfuckers that were hype as hell when the Proud Family said they were coming back.
Right? I was like, this is. I mean, here's the thing, and I get it. You know what it is? I think I know what it is. It's the fact that y'all got spoiled by Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, which is about a teenager, but I mean, let's be real. He's being played by a dude who was in his 20s. This is actually being played by a legit teenager. And they're actually giving a fair, what I think is a fair depiction of high school. Kamala gets picked on. She gets, she's belittled and bullied. I mean, there's a point where like she's walking down the hallway and like literally like everyone is like, if someone's not bullying her, they're being dismissive to her, or they're just straight up just ignoring her. And the only people she can really count on are the people who she's close to. And honestly, while some people that might not have been your high school experience, that was very much my high school experience. So I totally got where the shit was coming from. Like,
it's a CW show with high schoolers that are actually high school.
Right. And the thing is, I think sometimes people are like, oh, that's not what high school was like. Yeah, maybe not for you. Maybe you were one of the cool kids, or maybe you were just one of those kids that didn't fit in any particular group and no one really fucked with you. But I was one of those kids that fit into a very specific group, and I got fucked with all the time. I got picked on, and well, no one ever like beat me up. Because folks found out real quick, I'll throw hands. But
did you have one of those euphoria high school experiences? Just smashing and coke and druggies?
That was my senior year. That was my junior and senior year of high school.
What school was this? I should have went to this school.
I was at Craigmont. I was at. I went to Craigmont. But no, my. Half of my junior year and the entirety of my senior year was probably more like Euphoria, but my freshman year of high school was very much this first episode of Ms. Marvel. My sophomore year went a little bit different, but that was because I actually was going to a school where I had friends. My freshman year of high school, I had no friends. I was at a school where I literally knew. Actually, I take that back. I knew one person. That was it. I only knew one person, and it was only because we were neighbors. That's the only reason why I knew who she was. She was a girl that literally lived like 2 houses down from me, and I used to hang out with her brother because we play video games together. She was usually just around. But oh Lord, what? This man. Anyway, getting back to it, one of the biggest criticisms, other than people saying it had like a Nickelodeon kid show vibe, whatever, is a lot of people criticize the parents. They criticize the parents of Kamala Khan, which I thought was very interesting because people are like, "Oh, why are they so mean to her? Why are they so harsh? Oh my God, why are they making her parents out to be the bad guys?" And I was like, y'all took that as her parents being the bad guys? Her parents are strict. Yes, they are strict. However, they're not bad people. They're not like, because people were trying to compare this to Turning Red and Kanto, or like, oh no, their family's so terrible to them. It's like, you gotta understand something. And once again, and I guess maybe this is because people are familiar with Muslim culture or traditional Muslim culture. Yeah,
because there were a lot of comments I read that said, "No, I'm Pakistani. That's legit."
Yeah, no, yeah. What was it? Because there's a part where because okay, so the scene that I just showed, the scene I just pulled up, this is a scene where Kamala is asking her parents if she can go to Avengers Con, and you can already see her mom is like, hell no, because the whole time she keeps talking about a convention, her mom's like, so you want to go to a party? She's like, no, it's not a party, it's a convention. So like, that sounds like a party. And she's like, oh, and even when she does decide to actually let her go, she's like, there's going to be a lot of haram going on. And for those who know what haram is, that basically means stuff that is considered taboo and against Muslim principles. Basically shit like gambling, drinking, drugs, lewd dancing, being scantily clad, stuff like that. But yeah, but the thing is, her parents are bad people. They just want the best for their daughter. Maybe it comes off.
They look.
Well, but this is the thing, though. I totally get it. And here's the thing. Honestly, there's a part later on that comes up. Like her parents, they're literally trying. Like they finally like, hey, look, you can go to Avengers Con. You can go. We're totally going to let you. We want you to. We talked to your brother. He explained it to us. Because honestly, Kamala didn't do a very good job explaining why she wanted to go. Her brother was like, hey, look, I'll do you a solid. I'll explain what it is. And they're like, like, yeah, cool, we'll go. Her mom even makes her a fucking costume because, she doesn't want her going wearing some skin-tight outfit because that's another thing that is, that, like I said, it's kind of taboo in Muslim culture. So she goes out of her way to make her a costume so she can look like the Hulk. And her dad even comes out like with the green face paint and looking like the Hulk so they can be cosplay together so they can, do this as a family. And I think a lot of people probably saw, they're like, oh, look how they're punishing her. I saw people actually complaining about this shit. And it's like, dude, they're trying to meet her in the middle. The truth of the matter is just that they don't understand what it is that she loves, and she doesn't understand that they don't understand what she loves, and she does a terrible job of explaining why she loves what she loves. Because, I will say this, while I do sympathize with Kamala in these episodes, I'm also a parent who understands that it goes both ways. They're trying. Both sides are kind of trying, but they're not succeeding. Just because you're trying doesn't mean that you succeed. And that's kind of what happens here. But yeah, I thought this was actually really endearing. I thought it was really endearing stuff. This show has heart. And while a lot of people try and complain, oh, it's not as good as other Disney Plus shows, you can't really compare each and every Disney Plus show one-to-one to one another because WandaVision is nothing like Hawkeye. Loki and Moon Knight aren't anything alike. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is nothing like Miss Marvel. Yeah, you could compare them on a quality level, sure, but like people trying to say that, oh, this isn't like this or this isn't like that, this is different. I always hear people crying and singing the blues about how, man, Marvel just needs to change it up, do something different. Man, but every time Marvel does, people complain. It's like, no. Go back to that Iron Man 2... Captain America, Winter Soldier, go back to that. That's what they always end up, crying for after, they get something different. It's like, dude, the show is fine. It's inoffensive. It's not for everybody. I'll be the first one to admit, it's not for everybody. I think, honestly, if you're one of those people, and I get it, because I'm one of them too, I don't like teenagers. I don't really like kids in general. I really hate teenagers, though. I do not enjoy the company of teenagers. Now I say on a case-by-case basis, I have been able to be around teenagers that don't get on my last nerves. They are very few and far between. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't like teenagers just because they're usually just so overly dramatic. All their problems seem like the worst thing that's ever happened to them in life, even though they have their whole life ahead of them. And I used to be one of those teenagers that was dramatic and acted in those ways. And I go back and look at I found old journals and notebooks and sketchbooks and things that I wrote down. I'm just like, oh God, that was terrible. Don't ever let nobody find this shit. But in the end, I thought they did a great job. They showcased a Kamala that I thought she felt like Kamala Khan. She was Kamala Khan. The way Iman Vellani, the way she portrayed this character, the way that she carried herself, the way that she was passionate about things, all of it, I felt like she did a fantastic job of all of it. I thought she did a fantastic job. But getting away from that, as far as, the whole powers thing, yeah, it comes up in this episode. She gets her powers. We see the crystal shooting out of her hands and whatnot. And, we see her hands glowing with the whole crystal energy thing when she's at the Avengers Con cosplay competition, whatever. And there's even a point where we even get to see something that's kind of like, it's like her extending her hand at one point, but once again in the form of those crystals. So like I said, the powers are there. It's done differently so it can line up better with Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers, who have completely different power sets from what Kamala has in the comics. I get it. It's fine. And yeah, it's cool. It is what it is. They also set up the antagonist, or at least one of the antagonists for the show, which I think we knew Damage Control was going to factor into this to some degree or another, which we do actually see Damage Control show up for a brief, which actually I thought was odd. This episode had a post-credit stinger, or mid-credit stinger, I guess, which I wasn't expecting. Even got a Hawkeye reference in the credits. With the tracksuit Drax. We saw like if you look at the credits, there's where you see one of the trucks that says "Trust a Bro," like just driving off in the background. It's like, all right, I see y'all. But yeah, I thought this episode was great. It was fine. It did everything it needed to do. I'm excited for the next episode.
Herbert Scott just said something. I want to see if you agree with that. He said that this show is not for a 40-year-old, but it is if you can go back to the age Kamala is in the show and just enjoy the ride.
Yes, I do agree with that. Yes, I do. Like, and yeah, no, and here I want to put this up. I want to highlight this. Yes, no, this show is not for 40-year-olds. If you are, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even think it's for 30-year-olds. This show is meant for a teenage young adult audience. And I'm sorry, it is what it is. But if you can show empathy, like Herbert Scott just said, if you can put yourself into her shoes, I think you will have a good time. If you can open yourself up to new experiences, maybe allow yourself to see what life is like for someone maybe who is from a culture that's not like yours. I think you like, because that's me. I'm not as familiar with Pakistani or Muslim culture, and I know people of Muslim descent or who are of Muslim culture, people who are of Pakistani descent. And while I know some things, I don't know everything. And that's how I felt when I read that comic for the first time. I was like, wow, dude, you're opening my eyes up to so many things. I didn't realize that, this was this way, or this was like that, or, whatever. Now I feel like my mind is being opened up. And the show was the same thing. I'm like, oh man, yeah, this is, I get it. I get it. Like when she's walking around with her mother, and they're going shopping for a dress, or not really a dress. It's more of just it's not really a dress so much as an outfit, for her brother's wedding. Some of the things that occur, the conversations that are being had between her mother and her friends and like the other people around, I was like, oh wow. I was like, dude, yeah, this tracks. I was like, because I've seen this happen. But yeah, if you're a 40-year-old dude and you can't empathize with a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl or whatever, then I totally get it. You're not gonna get far with this show, and that's fine. It's not for you, and that's okay for things to not be for you. That doesn't make them bad, though. That's the thing I always want people to understand, because a lot of times people encounter something that's not for them, so they just immediately dismiss it as being trash. It's like, no, it's not trash. It's just not for you. It's just not for you. That's what that really means.
I feel like you said that before to your wife, or you all trying to something new. You just have to open your eyes to new experience. I
mean, look, she may have said it to me once or twice too. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Actually, I'm never sorry.
But I mean, that's good to hear. Because even when we watched those original trailers, I was one of those people that said, you know what? I can clearly tell this is for the teen Nick crowd. Yeah. I'm older now. I've read the original run. This is not something that's for me, so I wasn't really checking for it like a lot of other people. I was going to watch it, of course, until it got mixed, because your boy was cheap. Don't feel like spending money on that Disney Plus subscription. But I mean, you're absolutely right. It's not gonna be for everybody, but that does not mean it's bad. It's just you've grown out of certain things. Yeah. It's just like it's just like the Rugrats. You grew up and now you're all grown up. Now you're doing other stuff. Hopefully you're not as bad as all grown.
Yeah. Oh no. But I mean, like, I'll be honest with you. If you watch the show, you see Iman Vellani's performance, and you don't think that girl is Kamala Khan, you have no heart. You are a stone cold sumbitch.
Say that, and then you and Sam both, and we can leave it there. Sam just hit the nail on the head. Imagine being a 40 mad at a coming of age story for teens.
Bruh, thank you. Yes. And actually, that was actually something I saw on Facebook. It was a bunch of people, like, it was showing negative reviews of this show, and in the middle it said a bunch of 30-year-olds. And then down below, it was like it was like people with some damn. It was like it showed the audience score for the show, and it was like people with common sense and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But no, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. That Herbert Scott nailed it, and so did Sam. Y'all nailed it. Can't agree more if I tried. But that said, let's move on to the next thing. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. But before we do, I do want to address because we got a super chat here from the homie L.J. Brown,
That's
who
nasty.
knows what's going down. Says, like Miss Marvel so far, I wonder if Marvel will do an actual Ant-Man podcast. P.S. I would love to see a teenage Blerd with Milli Vanilli dreads. Man, trust me, no, you don't want to. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. I never had dreads, but what I did have was, remember back when, oh God, man, I'm telling myself. Remember back when Drew Hill was a thing?
If you tell me.
I did have the Caesar with the blonde hair and I also had purple, blue, red. I had all kind of bullshit going on, dude. I used to wait a minute. This man, he said nah. Oh God damn. But no, let's move on to our next thing, man. We got Carter, you know we got Thunderbolts coming to the MCU. Did you know, Carter?
I would have to see the roster before I have any kind of response to it.
Well, okay, so here's the funny thing. We don't know what the roster is yet. However, one of the purported rosters, at least back before was William Hurt had passed away. One of the proposed rosters was actually this one. This is the one people were kind of expecting. They were expecting the Red Hulk, Abomination, Zemo, Yelena. Deadpool's in there for God only knows what reason. U.S. Agent Ghost and Cataract Vision. Which, is whatever. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. And of course, as we know, Thunderbolt Ross's actor has passed away. So obviously will not be in this to any degree or another. And I think we talked about this before when we brought this up, but I've said, I think when we talked about She-Hulk, I talked about how I think you can expect to see Val, Mrs. DeFontaine as the Ross stand-in, like the handler, the person who's kind of like the oversight on the Thunderbolts. As for the villains that would be a part of this, I think it's pretty safe to say U.S. Agent, the Wish version, the Wish version of Captain America will be there. I think it's safe to say. Some people, I think Abomination is definitely a one you can expect, and I definitely think Yelena is one you can expect. I wouldn't be surprised if you got Hawkeye in this, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised, because Hawkeye has close ties to the Thunderbolts, having formerly operated with them in the past. I know some people that I think Zemo would be another one. I think you could expect to see Zemo, maybe, possibly. Otherwise, why have him around? I know some people have brought up Bucky as being a potential one. I don't know if Bucky would work. I mean, I think he could, but would I personally put him there? I don't think I would. But and once again, Ghost, a character we literally have not seen since Ant-Man and the Wasp, who was kind of a reformed villain by the end of the movie. Wasn't even really a villain to begin with, being brutally honest. I I think we could definitely see a character like her come back. I wouldn't be against it. And, once again, of course, Cataract, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him emerge somewhere in that. I'd be perfectly fine with it. A character I definitely don't want to see, though, Carter, please don't bring back that Taskmaster from Black Widow. Y'all, that's the one y'all can keep. Yeah, this the motherfucker right here y'all can keep. I don't want to see that motherfucker again. I'm not shitting on it. Just it's the one thing about that movie I just absolutely don't like. But it is what it is. The main thing we don't really know a whole heap a lot about this. All we really know is that Jake Schreier is going to be the one to direct this movie. For those who are unfamiliar, I think me and Carter, you and I talked about this, talking about like what are some things we've seen by Jake Schreier. The only, man, it's so sad to say, out of his credits, he hasn't directed terribly many things, but the one movie of his I've actually seen, that I can legitimately say that I have seen, was Robot and Frank, which I think, when I brought this up, I think, Carter, you said you were unfamiliar.
Yeah, I've never.
You say you were unfamiliar with Robot and Frank. Robot and Frank, it's Frank Langella.
I didn't realize it was going to really be Frank Langella.
Yeah, it's Frank Langella. and it's basically about this guy. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't think he has. I know he's an elderly man who is. He basically needs somebody to kind of sit with him and kind of look after him. He doesn't want to go to a nursing home. His son gets him a robot. Frank hates robots. And you can kind of tell where the story's going from there, that basically Frank and this robot are going to wind up getting along. Even though Frank wants nothing to do with the robot, Frank winds up spoilers, he winds up warming up to the fucking robot. And it's cute. It's endearing. Also, the plot twist, or not plot twist, one of the nice little threads of this is that Frank, if I remember correctly, used to be a criminal. Which makes it even more interesting. He's teaching the robot about some of the shit he used to do. I mean, it's cool. It's a really cute movie. It's definitely like an indie film. It's definitely an indie film. But I really liked it. I liked it a lot. So, once again, that being the only thing I have to go on, okay. It's the one movie I've seen by him. Other stuff that he's done, he directed a few. Carter, I think I asked you this. Did you ever watch, what was it, Brand New Cherry Flavor? Did you ever watch that show on Netflix?
No, I know of it, but I've never seen it.
For those who don't know, that was a TV series. It was a Netflix original, Brand New Cherry Flavor. I
think you used to big up that show a lot, if memory serves.
A little bit. Okay, I'll tell you this. I liked the first half of it. The latter half of it got real weird. But it's a cool enough show. It's about a director, an indie director, and trying to make it big in Hollywood, and how she gets manipulated, sexually assaulted, and bullied into losing her movie, and how far she's willing to go to get it back. The first half of the show is actually really damn good. It's the last couple of episodes that I'm not crazy about, which is oddly enough one of those episodes Jake Schreier directed. But he also directed one of the ones I liked, so it gets weird. But it's a cool show. Cool show. Also, I like the fact that it has one of my favorite actresses in it, Rosa Salazar, who some of you may recognize from Alita, Battle Angel. So there you go. But yeah, I don't know. We don't really know much more about this Thunderbolts business. So who knows? We don't really have anything else to go with. All we know, and here's the thing, Disney didn't even really confirm this deadline. if I'm not mistaken, is the one that confirmed this. But Deadline's actually pretty spot on. If Deadline says it's going down, they usually have reason to believe it's going down. And if Disney has actually tapped a director to do something, then that's something that's very difficult to hide from people like Deadline. I will say, for those who are also curious, Deadline's also the same people. If you're raising your eyebrow at this, they were also some of the same people who figured out that Oscar Isaac was playing Moon Knight well before Disney ever came out and said anything. Same thing goes for Tatiana Maslany playing She-Hulk. So take that how you want to. But that said, let's go ahead and move it all along. We can keep it pushing. But before we do that, I do want to say shout outs to the homie Jonathan Moda out here with the 18 months in the diamond mine. Says, get those likes up. Says, I had the Soul Glow Jerry curls. Not proud, but happy. It was just a phase from the parent trying to emulate the style of the times. Man, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I never had the Jerry curl. But, man, I remember my mom dated a guy who had a Jerry curl. And my God. I remember every time he came to the house, it was like Coming to America. Remember the scene where the family sat down when they sat down on the couch and they stood up with Jerry juice all over the back of the couch? Dude, I hated sitting where he sat because he always had a bad habit of wanting to sit in my spot. He had a bad habit of always wanting to sit on my spot on the couch with a nasty ass Jerry curl. Lord.
Never had to experience it. I, at one point, tried to have an S curl. You remember those?
Oh, man, I remember them.
It was for 1 week of school. I got flamed and got a fade immediately.
That man said, get me up out of here.
But I still have the problem where anytime my hair will grow out, and this happened when I was in fucking junior high.
Oh, man.
When my hair starts to grow out, and I think several men who have experienced this, not you, because you've been bald a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Time. When your hair grows out from that haircut, and it's at that nasty period where you have to keep letting it go and get the fro, or you get it cut again. When my hair grows out now, it still curls in the same spots where they were trying to do the finger waves. So there's a lot of picking and a lot of comb that has to get done at all times. The way you see brothers like old boy off Rich Rigger Pole Wigger brushing them waves.
Oh, yeah.
I got to do that
Bro,
just to get rid of stupid curls.
You out here like Chicago on Poetic Justice.
Oh, no, man. Brushing makes it worse. So I just got to pick. You just got to pick.
Get it out. But no. Let's go ahead and move on to our next thing. This is going to be kind of a quick one because I don't really have anything nice to say about it. The Joker sequel. It's confirmed. Well, there you go. All right. Todd Phillips, the director of the Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, which apparently I didn't know this. I don't know if you knew this, Carter. Have you ever looked up the box office mojo on Joker 2019?
No, I know at one point they said it was up there with Deadpool.
It made $1 billion worldwide. Yeah, it made $1 billion. Matter of fact, here, I'll even show you guys. Here, y'all take a look. See for yourself. 335,000 domestic, 738, hell, damn near 39,000 international, for a total of $1 billion worldwide. So I mean, that's a big movie. It's a big movie. It's not a movie I enjoy. It was a movie I saw once. I never wanted to see it again. It didn't do for me what it did for everybody else. Because I felt like the movie was rudderless. I didn't feel like it was really even going anywhere. I mean, yeah, I guess it was supposed to show the origin of the Joker, but like, I don't ever want to know the origin of the Joker. That's kind of what makes the Joker interesting, is that I don't know. The Joker has gone how long without having a concrete origin story in the main DC Comics universe? Okay, cool. Let's keep it that way. But while I did enjoy Joaquin Phoenix's performance, I thought he did as good a job as what he could have done with what he was given. I honestly didn't feel this movie needed a sequel. But they're going to make one against all hope.
I'm hoping that Joaquin Phoenix says no, because I don't know him to do a lot of sequels to.
He typically
anything.
doesn't. No,
there doesn't. I personally enjoy the film. I put it in the same category as oh my god, I can't remember who wrote these, but it was like those old Joker Luther books. I think it was.
Brian I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was Brian Azzarello who did the art. Yeah, that's what I can remember. But that's how I looked at it. I looked at it like it was one of these like Vertigo DC Black Label kind of stories. So me taking it as that, I enjoyed the movie. But just like with, I think this is a conversation you and I had. Just like The Last of Us, Joker had a beginning, had a middle, had an end. Just like The Last of Us had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Didn't need a sequel.
No, didn't. No.
You were good right there.
Yeah.
You know, Todd Phillips surprised the hell out of me, especially coming from 2 Hangover movies that didn't need to happen.
No.
So to do this, and now he's doing it again, and I was hoping that he would learn his lesson from them Hangover movies. You leave it alone. But
you would think.
Greed is good to certain people,
Yeah.
and he's already shown that a script is done. They're just wanting Joaquin Phoenix to say no. I think I'm hoping that he will just leave it alone. Stop trying to make this a thing. You told a complete story. You got your Oscar for it. The few comic Oscars that have been given out that aren't for costume design or cinematography or music, or only given out because the actor died. This one was given out because the actor who was in the role did a fantastic job. You have everything you can get for that film. There's no reason to possibly sully it by coming out with a sequel that everyone will compare to the original. And no matter how good this sequel may be or may not be, you're still going to have those people that are going to be very large, in this case, that are going to say, this wasn't needed.
Mm-hmm. I'll be the first to say, I don't think I've seen a single movie other than maybe the first Hangover that I actually liked that was by him.
I only know him to do those 3 movies. I don't know what else Todd Phillips has done.
I mean, he's done Old School and Road Trip.
He did Road Trip?
He did Road Trip. And he did both Starsky and Hutch and Due Date.
You can stop right there. You can stop right there. Well, you know what? Due Date was fine. But that was during the whole Hangover stuff. But
it ain't for me. It ain't for me. I don't know. Man-child comedies never hit with me. They never do. Which, I mean, hey, that's fine, because maybe he is the perfect guy to direct yet another Joker movie. We'll see if this goes any better than the Hangover sequels, because there was only one good one, and it was the first one. Let's go ahead and move it on along. Because we still got tons of stuff left to get into. Here, let's move along. We got Marvel's Midnight Suns.
This is all you, sir.
They've added Spidey as well as various other characters. Now, some of them we already knew about. Sabretooth we knew was already going to be in this. We knew this from the original announcement that happened, but some of you may know Summer Games Fest happened very recently, and they went ahead and put up some stuffs. Like I said, this is kind of what we saw from before. This is like from the original announcement. You see Sabretooth going toe-to-toe with Wolverine, so on and so forth. And yeah, it's one of those things, like, a lot of people were kind of, I think, shocked and or disappointed that this wasn't going to be Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, or that it wasn't going to be some kind of a beat-em-up action game. This is very much it's made by Firaxis, the same people who For those who are unfamiliar, they make all of the XCOM games. So if you're unfamiliar with how XCOM works, I totally understand and will forgive you for not understanding how XCOM works or plays. However, being a huge fan of XCOM, I'm into this shit. I'm into it. I think we didn't really get to see a whole heap of a lot in terms of... We still haven't seen much more of the gameplay from this, as we have... It's mostly... What they showed at Summer Games Fest was basically just another CG trailer, just kind of more of an announcement of more things to come. But, I mean, we know the game's going to have a card system. You're going to be able to have a squad of various and sundry Avengers characters, many of which I've already showcased here. Characters like, going from left to right, Doctor Strange, Magic, Iron Man, Wolverine. This is the main character who I don't even know if they've even given her a name. Ghost Rider, Blade, Captain America, Nico, some of you may remember from The Runaways. We also got Captain Marvel, as we just talked about. Spider-Man himself was just announced. We're going to take a look at the trailer real quick, and then I'll kind of go through and break down my thoughts on some things, just as much as we can, just because, it's just a CG trailer. But I was able to glean some things that I think I can speak on. So let's go ahead and get into it.
This world has no hope under your watch.
I love how they keep sticking to the Metallica as a thing. That dude about to get it.
Surrender your pain to me.
Dude, Eddie getting down. It's like somebody told him he was going to be falling for 3 issues. All right, there's Lilith, who we knew was going to be the main villain here.
This Eddie Brock is already stupid, going in the fire knowing damn well that's his Achilles heel. I don't give a damn what color it is.
Right? But it's okay, because now he's been upgraded.
Typical Parker luck. I'm gonna need some backup.
Yeah, we got Yuri Lowenthal back as Spider-Man. Robbie Reyes, boy. And Lila said, I got a squad too.
I hope her squad hit those hips for as hard as she was trying to switch there.
Man, what?
Y'all tried a little too hard to do that in this trailer. Oh, is that Malbosia?
You ain't shit. So that is the Midnight Suns, the new trailer announcing the new date, October the 7th, which is not bad, not a bad date to go with. They also announced in this, you can see that of course, as we said before, Sabretooth, which you can see right here, we already knew he was in this. Of course, this is a demonic version of Sabretooth. We also see Scarlet Witch, a demonic version of Scarlet Witch, almost kind of looks like how she did when she got possessed by Chthon ways back. And then, of course, we've got Demo Venom that you can kind of see right here. He's got the flaming tongue, because reasons. So, yeah, Lilith's got her squad, and she probably will have more characters that she'll end up unleashing. And, of course, we saw the demonic version of the Hulk. For those of you who are not familiar, this actually is not an unusual thing. Back in the original Midnight Suns story arc, the Lilith was pretty good about corrupting people and turning them into darker versions of themselves. So this kind of tracks. But what I did like is the fact that we got Yuri Lowenthal back as Spider-Man. Those of you who are familiar with the Spider-Man PS4, PS5 game, Yuri Lowenthal's the guy that's been doing the voice of Peter Parker and Spider-Man for all of those games, and apparently has been doing it for other stuff too lately. But I like that. He's got a new suit. I forget what they call it.
You could actually get that suit if you liked a tweet that had come out during Summer Game Fest. If you like the tweet, they actually added you on Twitter and gave you a download code so that when the game dropped, you could actually use that particular skin that's in the trailer.
That's actually pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty neat. I like shit like that. It makes me smile. But yeah, the main thing to take away from all of this is that, now I know one of the things that came up not too terribly long ago is that because apparently Firaxis was very keenly aware that there were some people who were upset at the fact that they were making a Marvel game that wasn't Ultimate Alliance. Which I don't know why anyone thought that they were going to be making an Ultimate Alliance game, because they have never made an Ultimate Alliance game. I don't know why people thought that was them. Y'all.
I think they were more upset that it was a card battler.
Well, no, not even that. They were mad that it was a tactical strategy game. They didn't want it to be... Yeah. Which, because, to be fair, they were mad that it was a strategy game, not a straight-up... But the most common thread I saw people say was, well, why... why this? It's like, well, okay, first off, if the people who heard that Firaxis was making this game, what did you think they were going to be making? Literally, XCOM is all they make.
Yeah, you're mad at the XCOM people for making XCOM.
Yeah, you're mad. That's like me being mad at Michael Bay for making more explodey, shoot 'em up, bang bang movies. I'm sorry, it's what he does. That would be like me being mad at Quentin Tarantino for making films where he gets to gratuitously get away with saying the N-word and showing Uma Thurman's feet. That's just what he does. It's what he does. I don't have to like it, but I ain't gonna be mad at him. That's what he does. This is what he do. I can't fathom it. But my thing is, yeah, this game, not gonna be for everybody. It's not gonna be for everybody. But I do think if people, and I think Carter's a good example here, because I know, Carter, you say you don't like strategy games. I'm going to clarify. Let me clarify. Until you started playing Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
It was actually before that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a grasp on XCOM because there are a lot of things that you have.
There
to
are a lot of
be
systems
aware of.
Yeah,
and XCOM. Before Mario Rabbids, it was Gears Tactics.
I'll give you that one.
Gears Tactics I really enjoyed, and Mario Rabbids was basically Gears Tactics.
Just with Mario characters.
Yeah, but with Mario Rabbids, it's cutscene fight.
Mm-hmm.
Gears Tactics, you're micromanaging a little bit of your squad in a sense, but it's really those two games.
It wasn't as deep as XCOM, but it was like Gears Tactics wasn't as deep as XCOM, but it was deeper than Mario Rabbids. Mario Rabbids is pretty straightforward. It's like there's not a whole heap of you have to manage. But Gears, I felt, was like kind of a middle ground between the two. Which isn't bad. I think they're all great. But and I don't even like Gears like that. But I think if people are willing to give the damn game a chance, they might find they might like it. You never know. I play tons of games that aren't my thing. And I end up liking them. I used to hate Dance Dance Revolution until one day someone challenged me to play it, because I used to make fun of people who played it. And the dude said, "Nah, I'm going to put a quarter up. Let's see what you could do." And I was like, all right, fine. I tried it, and then literally was like, oh, wow, it's actually kind of fun. I used to make fun of people for playing Guitar Hero rather than just playing actual guitar. Then I got really good at Guitar Hero. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, a lot of times I feel like when we criticize things. We say, oh, that looks stupid, or I would never play that, this, that, and whatever. I think a lot of times it's just our brain fighting back against what we may actually like. Our brain fighting back against a potential good time, which is what happens. Like I said, I never would have known that I like JRPGs had I not given Final Fantasy VII a second chance. Like, I remember I had Final Fantasy VII when I got my PlayStation. It was like the first Final Fantasy that I legitimately played. Like, yeah, the Super Nintendo stuff, yeah, sure, but I never really paid any attention. It wasn't for me. When I was too young for them. And then when I was a teenager, got Final Fantasy VII, I thought it was the dumbest fucking game ever when I tried to play it. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, what? Why are people freaking out about this? And then one day I just got really bored. I had beaten Resident Evil Director's Cut like for the 80th millionth time. And was just like, fine. It was the only other game I had. I was like, I'll just go ahead and play this again. And then 3 discs later, a monster was created. So yeah, that's why I always tell people, when people like rail against a certain type of game, like me and you, Carter, I think you and I both used to like shit on Fortnite. I know I used to. And now I play that motherfucker more than I play most things. So, I mean, like I said, that's why I always tell people, be careful when you shit on something a lot, you might want to take an opportunity. Like, if you find yourself criticizing something too harshly too often, I always say, take an opportunity to try it out, because you might actually wind up liking it. Like, you end up turning one of them super fans. But anyway, that was all I really want to talk about with that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Before we do, I do want to address, because I think we got another super chat in here, real quick. Let's go ahead and get it. Got one from CT Coop with the $5. Says, if you could have little Namor wings on any part of your body, where would you get them? I would get them on my cheeks for max thrustability. Lord.
Danger, danger, danger.
I wouldn't, you know what? I wouldn't want them on my cheeks, but I wouldn't want them on my ankles either, though, because I feel like that would just be weird, man. You imagine you walk into the house, you trip on something, or like snag your wing on some shit? Ooh,
I was thinking about that, or like when you putting socks on, and he talking about putting them on his ass, but he got to sit down somewhere. Is it gonna hurt? Like, y'all don't think about a lot of this shit, man.
Look, wait a minute. If you have them on your cheeks, I don't know, man. I feel like you should at least put them a little bit higher up. Maybe put them like above the belt line and wear them like a tramp stamp. I don't know where I would put them.
Ernie Carruthers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I don't know. Honestly, you know what? I would be a whole asshole. I would just put them on the sides of my head just to be funny. Just to be funny. Just to be funny. But yes, anyway, we got our last topic. And that's going to be our first look at Amazon Prime's Paper Girls. Now, Paper Girls is something I've talked about off and on. Book by Brian K. Vaughan. Fantastic book. I think it ran 35 to 40 issues, I want to say. Let me double check that. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. I don't think they have it in here in the front. Maybe it might be in the back. I think it's like 40 issues, give or take. Because I think it was like, oh no, it was 30 issues. 30 issues. See? Oversold you. But, Paper Girls basically is a story about some young ladies who pretty much get caught in some of the wackiest shenanigans that a group of girls could potentially get caught up in. They're literally exactly what I said they are. They are very much paper girls. I'm not talking about like Paperboy on Atlanta. They ain't no drug dealers. But no, they're like legit actual paper girls in the 80s. They have a paper route. They ride their bikes. They deliver papers to the neighborhood. And then one night, which is, I forget what it is. I think it was like Halloween night, which was supposed to be like the craziest night of the year for them, I guess, on papers. They end up encountering this massive shift or rift in the space-time continuum. and all kinds of crazy bullshit comes out of it. They wind up getting, like, snagged away into all kinds of wibbly-wobbly, wacky, zany, timey-wimey shenanigans. And that's kind of the comic, without saying too much. Because I feel like saying any more kind of ruins the mystique. But we got to see, thanks to Entertainment Weekly, we got to see a first look at this. It's actually some pretty cool little shots. A lot of these shots are literally straight out of the comic. A lot of these shots are straight out of the comic. Now, I will say, like, in this shot right here is basically what I was talking about just a minute ago. Like, this, had this kind of pinkish, purplish aura across the sky. That's basically when you know the shit's about to go down. And then, of course, we see some other shots here where we see them kind of looking out. You can pretty much tell, what's happening. They're looking at some of the crazy shit, people riding pteranodons and shit and speaking weird languages. This right here, I don't even want to say too much about this scene, but you can basically tell, if you've read the comic, you know what this shot is. You know who one of our main characters is talking to, right here. It's all pretty awesome and great. But yeah, the show looks. Carter, did you ever read Paper Girls? Did you ever read Paper Girls?
I read the first arc and then went back to Saga and completely forgot about it.
Okay.
Because I think at that time, the main Image books I was really checking out was Saga and Bitch Planet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, basically, so I don't even want to say a whole heap a lot about this because, like, I kind of don't want to share the context. I don't really want to share the context for this scene because, man, it kind of gives away a major plot twist that happens on the show. But basically just know, crazy shit's going to be happening. The girls' attitudes all pretty much kind of seem to be in line with what I would expect. They all seem to be basically in line with what I would imagine each of these characters to be, based on some of the things that we know. Case in point, Erin, she seems like kind of the reserved one, which is kind of par for the course, the girl on the left, because she's the new kid on the block. Mackenzie, who is the one who is flipping the bird, that's about par for the course for her. I kind of hope they don't have her as homophobic as she was early on in the comic, which, that was a character development thing that they, that they did actually pay off in the end. And then KJ, who is on the right, just from the little bit I've seen, she looks to be about accurate. And then, of course, Tiffany, who's the black girl right here, she seems to be about where I would expect her to be. The characters, like I said, they get into some pretty wild shit. I'm actually, like, I remember when I first read this comic, the first thing that crossed my mind was, I was like, this comic is, to me, basically what I always wanted Stranger Things to be. Like, after the first season. Like, when I saw the second season of Stranger Things, I was like, man, why couldn't it have been more like Paper Girls? Like, why couldn't they have gone that route? That would have been way cooler. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far. The show looks interesting. I mean, if it's based on the comic, if it's half as good as the comic, it'll be amazing. But I'll definitely say I'm already ready for people to be in their feelings about this show. Because I'm just waiting on it. I'm just waiting on it because that's just what we get. I'm ready to start seeing the thumbnails for the quartering. young Slipper, all the rest of them. I'm ready to see it because they can be like, oh, it's woke. It's woke. I can already see Tyrone Magnus now crying on camera about how woke it is.
Well, I'm hoping that this does better than Why the Last Man, because he is 0-1 right now with shows based on his stuff.
Yeah.
I really hope they don't try to turn Paper Girls into something just so stupid. It pisses me off now when I think about Why the Last Man, because I was one of the main people that was on this show hype for that show to drop. And then I saw the first episode and I still held out hope. And then I saw the second episode, and for whatever reason, I still clung on to a little bit of that hope and didn't even want to admit to the fact that show was smooth brain. That show was woo, Lord, that show was smooth brain. But I'm hoping that with it being on Amazon, we're going to get the story from page to film. Maybe not to a Watchmen level, but just not with other people's filthy hands on it, like Why the Last Man was.
I liked Why the Last Man.
That's fine.
I didn't think it was bad. Honestly, it didn't seem that different from the comic to me when I went back and read it. It was seemed about par for the course. I think a lot.
But Sam just said in the chat that he said his friend gave him the entire series because they got an omnibus. Then you most definitely need to go sit down and read Paper Girls. Go read it.
Yeah, it's like I said, Paper Girls is great. It's great. I think people just didn't like Why the Last Man because it hit too close to home, considering everything going on recently. But that's just me. But that said, I think Paper Girls will be fine. Comic book adaptations for TV shows that are not Marvel or DC have a pretty high mortality rate. Some of you may or may not remember, I think we talked about this not that long ago, the TV show Deadly Class, based on Rick Remender and Wes Craig's work. Which I thought, Deadly Class, I thought it was a good show, and it got canceled because it was on Sci-Fi Network.
At least you said that part. It was a good show, bad channel.
Yeah, it was a good show, bad channel. And honestly, Sci-Fi, I kind of knew that was going to happen because Sci-Fi does that with every show. No matter how successful the show is, they always wind up canceling it for some stupid reason. And it is, like, in the case of The Expanse, it went to Amazon, which it
that's what I was going to say.
I
think had Deadly Class come out later, I think Deadly Class would have got the same treatment because the fact that show got canned and The Expanse got canned, but then they kept Z Nation running for how long?
Yeah, no. I still don't understand the obsession people have with Z Nation. I still don't get it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying I don't get it. I don't get it. Don't want it. Don't like it. But that said, I think that we can finally move on into our recommendations for the week. Carter, what is your recommendation for the week?
Man, it was gonna be something that had actually come out this week, but then I started reading some older stuff. So my recommended is going to be several books, but I'm gonna put it all together in one night. Nice.
I was hoping you would.
I want you all to go back to 2015. Something that Ernie was talking about last week. It made me want to read them again. Battle World.
Okay.
The Secret War tie-in books, because Ernie and I have talked on this show several times about tie-in stories nowadays that just ain't hitting. And if you want to go back to 2015 during Jonathan Hickman's Secret Boys, he had several crossover tie-in books to the main story of his Secret Wars that were just flames all around. You had Thors, you had Siege, you had Age of Ultron. You had several of those books. A lot of people remember Thors because Thors was basically cops with a bunch of damn Thors. It was literally an episode of Cops with Thors, and it was awesome.
The only thing it was missing was the bad boys. That's the only thing it was missing.
It was all the names of older, with the exception of Thor's, obviously, but it was the name of older Marvel stories with a twist. So you had Planet Hulk, which was another really good one. You had Weird World, which I think I was talking about last week because that was the closest I'd seen to a Conan book before Jason Aaron started writing Conan.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I think if you want to bring up a particular image, Ernie, my favorite tie-in is one book that people hate the original that it came from. That was the Battle World book Siege. And Jonathan Moda, I'm trying to give people my recommended, and you coming in here with $99 super chats, okay?
Speaking of cancellation, says Camelot was amazing and they canceled it. What other shows did you like that were
I forgot about Camelot.
That were ended far too soon? Yeah. Oh man.
That's all. Whew.
You know what? I tell you what. I think for me, I could take the low-hanging fruit here. I really could. Low-hanging fruit is Firefly. That show got ended ridiculously early without any provocation whatsoever. Another show, man. No, they didn't cancel this one. This one actually did keep going. They actually let this show finish, so I'm not going to say that one. Man. How long did Pushing Daisies go?
3 seasons?
Okay, maybe they didn't cancel it too soon. I felt like it was only the one.
It ended on a cliffhanger, though.
Yeah, it did end on a cliffhanger.
They canned it, so.
Yeah. Carnival. Carnival, I think, got 2 seasons. But
How is it? Because
I like
HBO show. I've seen it on HBO Max.
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. but it was a good show. It was a really good show, and it was going somewhere. And then they just canceled it for reasons that I didn't understand. Apparently people weren't watching it as much as they wanted. Trying to think of another one. Because most of the shows that I really, really liked didn't get ended in a weird spot. Okay, so this isn't a show I expect many people to remember. Carter, when you were coming up, did you ever watch a show called Pirates of Darkwater?
Heard of it, never saw it. It was on you should remember this channel. You remember PAX?
Yep.
Where they used to show what was the name of that show with Miley Cyrus' daddy? Doc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, so this was a cartoon that used to come on back in the day. Pirates of Darkwater, based about I think there was on a planet called Myrrh, but it was this water that was dark and sinister and almost had a mind of its own, and it was taking over the entire world, and like basically they were trying to find, what was it, like the 8 treasures or 18 treasures or whatever, of rule or whatever, and it was crazy show. It was a crazy show. But I liked it a lot. It was a really, really fun show. Like, it came out back, like, remember, like, if you go back in the day, if you ever go back and revisit stuff like Conan the Adventurer, shows like that, the Bots Master, and like back in, it was like back in a golden age of cartoons where like, dude, a show, I think we ended up talking about this one night. I didn't realize this shit. I think it's on Peacock. Exo Squad. Like shows like that were
Exo Squad.
Exo Squad. That shit was like shit that was too ahead of its time. But Pirates of Darkwater got 2 seasons to a tune of 21 episodes. I don't think they ever finished their story. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
I just sent you some pics from my my recommended, though, just so people have an idea. It was from. Okay. I was trying to keep it with. It's actually really dope that you brought up Gillen, because Gillen is the one who brought up, or is the one who wrote this tie-in of Siege with Secret Wars. It has some people that you all are aware of. You got Abigail Brand in it. You got Abigail Brand. You got Kate Bishop. You got Miss America, Kang, Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh God.
They're all guarding the wall. If you all have watched Game of Thrones, you know about the wall that people have to stay and protect. That's basically what they did in Siege, but it was just behind that wall was not White Walkers. It was Ultron. It was Marvel zombies mixed with Ultron and Brood.
Yeah, it was pretty freaking gnarly. It was a nasty little here, I actually got it right here. Yeah, it was a nasty little setup they had. I remember that. I actually do remember really enjoying. Actually wait, here, there it goes. There it is. But yeah, it's good. Though I do miss the Battle World comics. Those were actually pretty legit.
All those Battle World comics were really, really good. Honestly, it was a way to introduce people to new characters as well, because I didn't know about you brought this woman up so many times, and now her name is lost to me. She's a vampire hunter.
Elsa Bloodstone.
There you go.
Well, not a vampire hunter. She's a monster hunter.
Thank you. Because she was in that Avengers book that I fucking hate. The Avengers Academy one that was Battle Royale. I fucking hate that book.
Yeah. She's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah. But yeah, all those Battle World books, but Siege was one of my favorite ones because I love the original Siege that Bendis did that no one likes.
Damn.
But yeah, the Battle World books.
I liked Siege though. Siege
there are
good.
So many people who shit on that event.
Yeah, I liked Siege. It was good. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm. Here's the thing, though. I'm notoriously easy to please. I don't take shit too terribly serious. So when I read a comic, unless it does something that just just offends my sensibilities in some kind of egregious way, I generally don't care.
A lot of people said that was Sentry ripping Ares in half was the egregious thing.
Oh, but that's okay though.
It was that whole.
Oh, okay, but that's the thing, though. Donny Cates gave y'all his receipt. He got his receipt, then Sentry got ripped in half. Then there you go. Now everything's fine. Mine is not a comic this week. Mine is
Ninja Turtles.
Well, no, because it's not out yet. No, mine is a video game. Mine's a video game. Some of you may be familiar with a little game that came out this week called The Quarry. I started playing it last night and got a good ways into it. Really interesting game. It's basically it's a horror title that has a bunch of actors in it that you would recognize. Like here's Ted Raimi, the brother of Sam Raimi. Also Henrietta. But yeah, it's one of those, like, have you ever seen Until Dawn? Have you ever played Until Dawn or any of the
it's the spiritual successor.
Yeah, it's a spiritual successor. It's a very interesting game. Lots of different choices, has a lot of different crazy modes in it. It's pretty cool. It's actually really, really cool. The opening of the game kind of threw me for a loop. There were some things that happened that I was like, oh, I think it's going to go this way. And then it ultimately didn't go that way at all. But it's a
weird looking dude from Detective Pikachu.
You hate shit. That was you're talking about this gentleman right here? Yes, that is him.
Funny to me. I'm sorry.
Anyway, that's him, yes. But he's in the game. They also have actors like Lance Henriksen. Some of you may remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Lance Henriksen is in it. I can't remember her name. The lady is from all the.
Ariel Winter.
Yeah, you got her. What was the one that was in all the? Not the Conjuring movies, the other ones. The Insidious movies. The woman who was like the paranormal expert.
Vera Farmiga?
No. You're thinking about Conjuring now. I'm talking about Insidious. Why am I breaking up this woman's name? Oh my God. Why? Why, Lord? Why? Okay, so here, I got it. Here she is. Lynn Shay is her name. Lynn Shay. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, here, I'll pull her up. But yeah, she is she features in this game as well. Here, let's there we go. And bam, there we go. This that's her.
Okay.
That is
in one of the movies.
Yeah, she called it. I think I forget which one, but she did catch it in one of them. And then they tried to bring her back for a prequel, but they had Lin Shaye's voice, but had a different actress playing her, and they tried to dub it, and it sounded nasty as hell. But yeah, basically it's a fun game. You're playing as a bunch of teenagers who are at a summer camp that apparently is haunted. David Arquette also in the game, playing one of the people who's trying to get you to leave the camp because he knows you're going to get killed. It's really fun game. Lots of different twists and turns. It can go so many different ways. They don't punish you as harshly if you fail a QTE in the game. And they even go out of their way to teach you how to play the game, which is unlike any of the other games before them. They don't really go out of their way to teach you how the QTEs work or how some of the choices work. They actually have little tutorials in the game that are optional, which I wish more games fucking did this. Normally you play a game and they show you a new mechanic, like, hey, let me pull you to the side and here, let me run you through a 20-minute portion of the game to teach you how about this one dumb thing. And then guess what? When you're done with that, we're going to do the same thing with a whole other mechanic. No, what they do is when they teach you a new portion or system, a thing about the game, a little thing pops up and says, hey, this is what's happening right now. Do you want to know more? Hit this button. If you don't, just keep playing. I think that's the best way to do it, because if you hit the button, it takes you to a tutorial. If you want to do that. I wish more games did it. This game also has a movie mode. Where if you don't want to play, you don't want to do QTEs, you just want to see the story, you can set the parameters for how you want the story to play out. If you want more characters to live than die, or vice versa, whatever, you can set all those parameters and just let it play out, and you'll literally just watch the movie watch the game as if it were an actual movie. It's actually really cool. You can play co-op with this thing, I think online and local. It's really awesome. You can do that with a lot of their other games. Like I think Until Dawn was one you couldn't. But like all of like House of Ashes, Band of Madon, Little Hope, you can do that with those games. But everybody picks a character that they're gonna play as, and you just kind of back and forth. But this game was really awesome, and I wish more people were talking about it because it's so much fun. But anyways, let's move on along because we are almost 3 hours in, and I was kind of hoping we could not go that far past this. So we're going to read some questions from the Discord. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Bam. Got them. We got a couple here. One from Dude Man. Says, what's good, supervillains? For the past years, there have been some great stories utilizing just about every character in comics, but I must ask, who do you feel is one of the most difficult character or series to write for?
Sentry.
Really? Okay, that's a weird one. But I guess I see where you're coming from. I would say, well, you know what? I'll take your Sentry and I'll raise you a Blue Marvel. Not because I think he's difficult, besides I just think people choose not to. Because he is, like Sentry, a character that's powerful enough that you would have to kind of take him off the playing field for there to be any level of threat. Which has been done on multiple occasions for both characters, oddly enough. Let's see. Urban Prince of Strong Styles asks, is it really disappointing that WB Montreal made that garbage-ass Gotham Knights, knowing that they made Batman Arkham Origins? Yes, it is, actually, because I have no hope for either game. Or I have no hope for this game, because here's the thing. Okay, I'll be honest. I played Batman Arkham Origins. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it's that good either. It's a game I played once. I never played it again after. I had hopes for that game. I really wanted to be better than what it was, but it just ended up being a bottom tier.
You can tell it wasn't Rocksteady.
Right. Like in the grand hierarchy of Batman Arkham games, I can go ahead and tell you right now, the GOAT for me is always going to be Arkham City, because I feel like that was where the series kind of peaked. Now that said, I don't hate Arkham Knight. I think Arkham Knight's great. I just think that people really didn't like using that damn Batmobile because they couldn't figure out how to control it. But being a person who is able to adapt really easily to certain things in games, I actually didn't have a problem with the Batmobile. I actually worked the fuck out that. Dude, I was making that motherfucker sing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if I'm just like the Batmobile whisperer or some shit. But like all the times I saw people complaining about the Batmobile in Arkham Knight, I was like, I didn't think it was that bad. But I put Arkham Knight as like my second after Arkham City, with Arkham Asylum being right there, almost neck and neck with it, with Origins being at the bottom. And like I said, it's not to say that I think Arkham Asylum's a terrible game. It's just I played it and it was fun and cool, but I actually like playing Batman out in the open world as opposed to Batman in an enclosed space. Not to mention, I didn't like the boss battle at the end of Arkham Asylum. Didn't enjoy it. Fighting Bane Joker was not the move. Let's move on to the next question here. We got LJ Brown coming in saying, so basically you and Carter with teen hairdos are telling me that you two were being chased by the trio from House Party, like at the end of House Party 2? Okay, so here's the thing. So when I was in high school, here was what would happen. I remember when I first got on the bus to go to my first day of freshman year, I was sitting at the street corner with the one girl that I actually knew lived down the street from me, as I mentioned earlier. And there was a bunch of her friends and other people she knew, and they were all seniors. And they did that same bullshit that you see in movies like Dazed and Confused, where the seniors want to try and haze the freshmen or try and act like they're going to do something to them, which, they probably won't. They probably wouldn't have done anything to me. But there was this one dude, big-ass black dude named Maurice. He was like the one black dude in a sea of white people, other than myself. And I remember I was walking down the aisle of the bus to get in my seat, and he was like, hey, I ain't never seen you before. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it's my new school. He was like, so what grade you in? And I was like, and I kind of paused for a second. He said, you a freshman, ain't it? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'll be seeing you later. Now, granted, I think he was joking. But later on, that same day, because he and I actually we ended up having a couple of classes together. Art class and I think like a science class or something. And he kind of overheard some conversations that I was having with other people. And then he ended up ultimately overhearing a conversation that I was having at a lunch table. I was talking about what I was doing later that day because I met some people who had common interests. And I said, oh yeah, man, I'm going to be going to take Kimpo later. And Maurice stood up out of his chair at the table that was kind of like behind where I was sitting. He was like, oh. He's like, you taking karate? And I was like, no, I don't take karate. I take Kimpo. He's like, so it's like kung fu and shit. And I was like, well, no, not exactly. I was like, but yeah, martial arts in general. He was like, uh-huh. He was like, all right, then. And he backed up, and I never heard anything cross from that motherfucker for the rest of my time at that school. Now, it's not to say he was going to beat the shit out of me, but, I mean, he did kind of imply that he was probably going to fuck with me at least a little bit. Now, others were less comical. There were some where I literally did get made fun of, poked fun at, bullied, more in a verbal sense. Most people weren't, because this was a school of a bunch of hick-ass white people. I remember they used to always make jokes about this school I went to. It was Bolton High School. It was the same school they used to. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, that was my freshman year, so you get where I'm coming from. So it was one of those deals where I remember there was a newspaper that made jokes about Bolton, talking about how the seniors from Bolton, they ride their tractor trailers down to Denim and Diamonds on the weekends, which isn't entirely true. You used to actually see motherfuckers pull up like they were some whole-ass cowboys. I'm talking about with the cowboy boots, cowboy hat. They had the old WWF Championship belt buckles. looking like they just got done beating Ric Flair for the championship. I used to run into shit like that. Those people would fuck with me, but they never wanted to fight me. They would always verbally bully me. They never like physically tried to attack me because they knew there was a strong chance, being one of 3 black people. Actually, I tell you about, I wasn't one of 3. I was actually one of like 12 or 15 black people at that school that would have fucked them up.
Complete opposite end of the spectrum. Carter was, and still a little bit to this day, more prone to the violent aspect of that, which is to say, if you ran your mouth about me, you know, you made fun of and name called and things like that, it was safe to say Carter hit you in the mouth. There is one story, I'll never forget this. I was actually in high school. This was freshman year. I was in ROTC, and I can't remember what kind of school function it was. I just knew it took place at night. And anyone who's ever been in ROTC, you know, you have the drills you had to do with the rifle in your hand. And I'll never forget this. I think he was a senior. Like I just remember he was on the basketball team. And the drill instructor did not like that we were kind of goofing off, just waiting for our turn. So to get back at us, he made us do drill, but while singing Tiny Bubbles. And I will never forget this. We had to about face, and we're looking face to face with the bleachers and the seniors and the cute girl that I wanted to talk to, the cute girl I was actually talking to, and this dude on the basketball team, for whatever reason, singles me out and starts running off at the mouth. And I make a comment like, "What did you say?" And everybody kind of hits Carl. Shut the fuck up. We're in line. Shut your mouth. Do the drill. And then he proceeds to still make fun of Carter. And with the girls right there. And then the girl that I'm talking to starts to laugh. Shouldn't have done that. Because at this point, now you embarrassing me in front of my lady. So Carter, in his ROTC military uniform, pants about as crispy as they wanted to be, hat about as snug as it wanted to be on his head, with church shoes in tow that was painful to run in. Carter jumped on those bleachers, rifle in hand, and gun butt the shit out of that basketball playing senior. At that point, it was just a downward spiral of Carter getting suspended once a week because Carter couldn't just let people use their words without Carter using his fists. Because if you're going to talk about me, I'm going to lay it. Fuck all this back and forth talking stuff. I'm just going to hit you in the mouth and keep it moving. That's how I always was. That's how I am to this day. You know the guy that you and I had the whole thing, the ninja. Mm-hmm. We ain't gonna finish the rest of it, but yeah. Mm-hmm. He proceeds to start running off at the mouth. That's why I can't wait to come back home. Because I'm going to drop him.
Look,
don't talk. No.
Here's my thing. This is why I always say, people talk real bold sometimes when they think they know what you will do. Which is why I've said on multiple occasions, a lot of my content creator peers and detractors who have tried to talk smack about me when we between two video screens, I always tell them, and they try and deny, but I know the reality of it. If we were face to face, you wouldn't be talking that greasy. Because if you did, at least if you were bold enough,
you're a brave soul if you do.
Look, because you gonna catch it. Because here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time, and I don't hide it. When people, you remember how folks used to do back in school where they get in your face and they would be right up on you, trying to talk shit to you? That's the worst thing you could do to me. Because I'm not going to say nothing back. I'm just going to headbutt you in your nose.
No, do you remember this? let me know if they did this with you, because I remember they used to do this with me growing up. And who asked that question? Sam, no, we were not out in the sticks. This was just Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, this Memphis, yeah.
Somebody would put, like, in my case, it was a leaf on somebody's shirt or whatever. It was like, and be like, ooh, we dare you to knock that off. And then you knock that off, and for whatever reason, knocking the leaf off this motherfucking shirt, just sitting him over the deep end.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
But yeah, dude, just to keep a long story short, Ernie is better than me in this case, because Ernie will just let those words just whatever.
I ignore most of what people say.
I bet you won't come over here and say it. Carter is, I'm gonna come over there because you said it, and bless you one.
He's like, look, like I always tell people, man, try Jesus, don't try me. But Prince of Apathy says, is the CW trying to get viewers by having them hate watch Tom Swift? Wait a minute. Bruh. Let me be real. Let me be real with y'all. I don't know. I haven't watched. Okay, so let me keep it a buck with you. I ain't watching none of that damn show. Wait, did it just start? Did it just start just recently?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just like what a little over a week ago it started. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm not with this show, and I fucks with LeVar Burton, but this ain't it. I've only seen clips of it. I've never seen the actual show. But yeah, this show. Here, I want to see if I can actually pull it up. I want to see. I'm not a clip. I'm not pulling up a clip of this shit because I ain't trying to catch no strike for no bullshit ass.
So what is it? Because I saw it but didn't know what it was. I just kept scrolling. What is this?
I don't honestly. I'm probably the worst person to tell you. Because I don't even really know. But basically, it's supposed to be a mystery series. Is more or less what is... Okay, you know what it is? Remember when I told you about that comic Prodigy? That's supposed to be getting made into like a Netflix TV series? Yeah. The one where like it's the black guy who's like super duper ridiculously smart. He can basically create anything that he fucking wants. That's what this is. More or less. That's basically what they're trying to do.
It's a Nancy Drew spinoff.
Yes. This is one of the posters for the show. I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I'm so good. Y'all have no clue how good I am on this.
It's a Nancy Drew spinoff.
It sure is. It sure is. That man. Look.
No, sir, I don't like
it. Man said no. He said no. Oh, yeah. Nah, we good. Let's get this last question from the, we got one more. Actually, no, we got two more questions from the Discord here. It says, the Elite X1. Says, Ernie, I've been thinking of referring to myself as the Blerd who ain't ever scared. Would you sue me? You do you, bud. You do you. I ain't gonna be mad at you. Look, all I'm gonna ask is that, hey, if you come up, just don't forget about your boy. We also got another one here from Prince of Apathy. He says, oh wait, this is a clarification, I guess, on the previous thing. Young gay black billionaire fighting the man. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Which is basically Prodigy, more or less. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's an actual Image comic. It's part of the Millar. It's part of the Millar
Millarverse.
Yeah, Millarverse.
Millarverse.
There you go. But it's
Millar World. One of
Millar. Yeah, that's what it is.
did
It's Millar World.
Did Sean Gordon Murphy do the art for that, or am I misremembering?
No, I don't think he did. No, I don't believe so. I don't believe he did. But basically, for those who are the uninitiated, this is Prodigy. Prodigy, basically, you got yourself a whole brother right here who is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, like literally, he's the smartest man alive. He's the smartest man alive. He knows everything there is to know about anything. He can make anything that he wants. He can do anything that he wants. He doesn't have superpowers. He's not like a superhero. He's not superhuman or anything. He's a regular dude, but he's so smart. He can literally solve all the world's problems, and he can multitask that shit. It's a nice little. I think it's like 8. I think Prodigy's like 8 or 10 issues, something like that. It's actually a solid book. But they're supposed to be making a Netflix movie or show out of it or something. But yeah, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend Prodigy. Let's see here. Now, let's move on to questions from the chat. And here, let's you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's try something new for a change. Here we go. Let's have the chat up. Let's run through here. Yeah, Elite X knows what I'm talking about. He's not to be confused with the mutant Prodigy from X-Men. Nah, it's just, dude's literally, no superpowers. Dude is, like, okay, the closest thing to compare him to is Mr. Terrific, in DC Comics. Mr. Terrific has no superpowers. He has no superpowers whatsoever. Dude is just naturally gifted at everything he does. That's kind of how Prodigy is in this comic. He's naturally intelligent, naturally athletic. He is just, if he sets his mind to do something, it's done. Period. There's literally almost nothing you can stop him from doing. Mailman says, quick Obi-Wan review. I tell you what, we could do that. We could do that right quick like. Can I not do my... I don't think I have it set up on this side of things. But, here, let's go to... Here, we'll go through here. There you go. Let's try it this way. Okay. Quick Obi-Wan review. Yes, the first episode I thought was really good. Definitely a good pickup from Revenge of the Sith. It definitely sets the tone for where Obi-Wan is in his life, as far as trying to hide from the Empire, the Inquisitors. Definitely, I thought were really interesting. I know a lot of people kind of didn't care for Reva, the third sister, because they thought that she was annoying or petulant. But I remind you what Anakin was like as a Sith starting out. And I also would remind you that the characteristics that she displays is pretty much what most Sith are usually like. A lot of people are probably so accustomed to Darth Vader, but when you really think about it, you probably don't notice how petulant he is because of James Earl Jones. If you actually heard his actual normal voice saying some of the things he says, you would probably change your mind. But I like Reva. Some of her dialogue is a little weird, but it's not out of context for anything that you would normally hear in Star Wars. I like the second episode was really interesting too. A lot of people tried to freak out and say that the introduction, or not the introduction, but the adding in child Leia breaks the series. It actually doesn't. It actually doesn't misalign anything. Because honestly, there's a reason why she knew who Obi-Wan was. So that's how you know people haven't watched Star Wars in a while. Going into the third episode, that to me is where the shit hits the fan. For obvious reasons. This isn't a spoiler. Everyone knows Darth Vader's in the show. It's not that big of a oh my God, you spoiled Darth Vader's in a show that has literally been advertised in for I don't know how long. But yeah, Darth Vader gets a lot of business. He gets to hand out some receipts. And episode 4, I think, is one of the more heartbreaking episodes because you learn a lot of things about what is inside, was it Fortress Inquisitorius? Things we didn't even see in Fallen Order. Because you do go to that same fortress in Fallen Order. But yeah, so far 4 episodes in, 2 episodes left. I think the show's great. It's I actually think, and I know some people will probably think I'm out of line for saying this, but I actually think it's the better Star Wars show they've done so far, even with The Mandalorian included. I like The Mandalorian, don't get me wrong, it's a great show, but sometimes it does kind of feel like the baby Yoda show featuring The Mandalorian. At least that's how people treat it, and I'm actually kind of sick of Baby Yoda at this point. Get to the other shit. Get to the shit that I came here for. I didn't come here for Baby Yoda. He can he can have his chicken nuggies and his chalky milk and all that other shit, but I don't care no more. I'm gone. But yeah, great show. Fantastic show. The only thing, if I could change anything about it, the only thing I would probably change is I would probably not have had Obi-Wan and Vader encounter each other so soon. But considering that I think this is only 6 episodes, I think, I'm double checking myself. I'm gonna double check myself here just to see where we're at on how many episodes they're actually supposed to be. I want to say it's only 6 episodes. Yeah, 6 episodes. So since they waited till the 3rd episode for them to have that confrontation, it's only 6 episodes. I really can't think of a better place that you could have put it. You might have made people wait too long, but I'm hoping they have another confrontation by the time we get to episode 6. But once again, it doesn't need to be because at the end of the day, you can still have it where, what was the thing that Vader said to Obi-Wan in episode 4? He said, when last we met, I was but a learner, but now I'm the master. That can still be true if they fight again at this point and Obi-Wan serves him. Like, there's no high ground to worry about. If he serves him again, or they have like a... Because basically the way Vader implies it makes it sound like the last time they fought, he lost. And he did technically lose in Revenge of the Sith. But what if he lost again? I'd be fine with that. I think the only thing about the show is I don't want them to keep going too far with it. Like, this is a show that I don't think needs to go more than maybe like a couple, 2 or 3 seasons maybe. I know they want to do more seasons. I don't think they should do too many because then that's when you're going to start getting too close to fucking with the original story. That's where I would say don't do it. Favorite Elden Ring bosses? Even though I hate her fucking guts, I do really enjoy fighting Melania now. Mostly because I know how to beat her. I know how to slap the grin off that woman's face. I actually do like Star Scourge Radahn a lot too, even though I've completely figured out how to cheese him into high heaven. I don't even have to hit him anymore. I don't even have to physically hit him anymore. If he gets close to me, I just hit him with rotten breath and walk off. I've killed him with just rotten breath alone. I've also finally been able to make him fall into the river and die. When he goes up in the air, comes down as a comet. But ultimately, I gotta admit, probably one that I still enjoy a lot, despite the fact that it's not the most like earth-shattering or ground-shattering boss fight, is Rykard. Mostly because it's you get a goofy weapon to fight him with. And if you choose not to use a fight, it can be a really challenging fight. Though I do not recommend going that route. Just use the weapon they give you and kill him. Beyond those, was it Godfrey? Whichever one is the one that has the lion chilling on his shoulder. I think it's Godfrey. Yeah, Godfrey. I like him. Just because this dude literally is beating your ass with a whole lion, and then it's like, nah, I don't need this lion to whip your ass, and turns into full-on Zangief mode. Dude even has the super atomic pile driver. But yeah. Let's see. Immortal X-Men number 3 question. Will Destiny regain her sight in order to write her sequel of 13 books that Moira read? Also, how about that new Judgment Day trailer and the one-shots? I haven't seen the trailer or looked at the one-shot anything. I'm actually terrified to know what is going on in Judgment Day by this point, because it almost seems like too much is happening. But I will say, as far as Destiny regaining sight, I mean, I guess if she gained back sight, how terrible would it be? But I've always kind of liked the idea. The idea of her being blind and being able to do some of the things that she's able to do, I thought kind of made her even more interesting. Kind of reminds me of, there's a character on Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, which, by the way, is an amazing show. If you're not watching it, you should be. Fantastic Star Trek show. Also with your boy, Anson Mount, a.k.a. Black Bolt. Blackagar Boltagon.
It's a prequel, isn't it?
Yes. Strange New Worlds, yes. It's a prequel to the original Star Trek. Because Captain Pike was the captain of the ship before Kirk. But yes, great show. Fantastic show. Also, Anson Mount's hair on that show is just fantastic. That man has a pompadour out this world. Like, that show shouldn't even be called... was it Strange New Worlds? Nah, it should be Strange New Hair. That's what the fuck that show needs to be called. Because Captain Pike, look, y'all don't believe me. Here, let me pull this shit up so y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all don't believe a motherfucker. Here, look at this shit. Look at that look at that hair. Look at that shit. Lord have mercy. This man out here. And imagine they made this man put on a full headpiece mask for that shit. In Multiverse of Madness. Lord, Look, Captain Pike, a motherfucker. That's my captain. Him and Benjamin J. Sisko. Them my captains. But no, but yeah, but yeah, I want her to. I don't think I'm interested in the idea of her gaining sight. Elite X1 says, "What are your thoughts on Netflix's upcoming animated film, The Sea Beast? Finally getting more black characters in the lead of these animations." I actually saw the trailer for The Sea Beast the other day, and I'm into it. Carter, have you seen it? Have you seen The Sea Beast? The trailer?
I have not. I'm actually looking it up now.
It's, so yeah, basically, long story short, it's about this girl who wants to, it's like a young black girl. She wants to be a pirate, basically. She wants to be a part, yeah.
I've seen it. I thought you were talking about something different. Yep, I've seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, I know what I'm talking about. This right here. This young black girl here, well, yeah, this man here is also a main character. She's really the star of this. And I'm into it. I like it. I like the idea of it because it's one of those deals where she wants to be a pirate, and he basically grew up the way she's trying to grow up. He grew up, at least the way the trailers imply, is that this man grew up into piracy as a child and became the pirate he is today, and that's what she wants for herself, but he doesn't want her to do that because deep down he realized that kind of messed him up. But she's proving that, you know, just based on her pluckiness and her just inability to take no for an answer, that she's every bit as much, or can be every much of a pirate as the next person can be. And I thought that was really cool. I like stuff like that. I like it. Let's see here. What's another one we got here?
Almost makes me want to get back on Sea of Thieves and finish Assassin's
man.
Creed 4. What makes me want to finish Assassin's Creed 4?
Bruh. Oh, you never... Wait, that was Black Flag, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, I never finished Black Flag.
I will say this: Black Flag has a very unsatisfying ending, but I take that back. No, I take that back. The ending is only unsatisfying because of what we got afterward. If that makes okay, so you know how we had 3, we got introduced to Hatham, and it's like, oh well, shit, you get in the next game. Guess what? You're gonna be playing as Hatham's daddy. So, the way they kind of made it seem is oh, maybe in the next game we'll get to play as Hatham, actually a full, legit Hatham game. Yeah, we end up getting Unity instead.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the way they set up the ending of Black Flag, it just kind of makes it seem like that's the next progression. But yeah, you didn't miss anything. But definitely, it's a fun game. I spent the last part of that game just going around on the ship and just taking down Man of Wars.
Did you ever play Freedom Cry? Because I had that one as well.
Yes, yeah, Freedom Cry. That was the one where you played as the quartermaster. The quartermaster of the ship, which was awesome. I like that. I wish they made it a full game. I wish Ubisoft had the balls to make that a full game as opposed to just a DLC.
No, Mailman, that did not make me want to binge nasty ass One Piece. Although I've had some friends now tell me don't start at the beginning. They've told me to start at the Wano or Wano arc that's currently going on. They said start there. They said just start at this current arc because this current arc is just apparently phenomenal animation-wise and story-wise. So I don't know. We're freaking One Piece.
Yeah.
I got so many other anime.
I tell you what.
Tell you what.
I'll watch the live-action One Piece when it comes out.
Gross.
But you ain't ever gonna get me to watch that anime because I'm sorry. I tried. I actually tried. My homie Jose, I told him I would do it. I told him I'd do it. Dude, I got 50 episodes in. I was like, this is some smooth trash. I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. I was like, you know what? The same people who were upset about Ms. Marvel gonna sit here. But they'll be like, nah, man, but Luffy, man. Nah, I don't like Luffy. I hate his voice. And I don't care. That's in English and in Japanese. I hate his voice. Luffy.
The only thing of One Piece I've actually seen, and this is where people really insult me, because I didn't realize there were different versions depending on what studio or what publisher dropped it.
You had the Fox 4 Kids back in the day.
That's the one that I've seen. So
yeah, I've seen it too.
People ask me, did you even watch One Piece? I said, yeah, I watched it because it has that one dude on there. He's the cook, but he knows kung fu and he loves lollipops. And several of my friends, Adrian specifically, that motherfucker went berserk because he realized what version I have seen. Lord Jesus, harder than seeing the 4 Kids version. Somebody help this man. I didn't know there were different versions.
Well, let's be fair here. Let's put some context on this. That was when it was out, and that was the only way you could watch One Piece. I didn't know what the fuck One Piece was. It was just a cartoon that happened to come on Fox after Power Rangers and the X-Men's went off. So, I mean, cause shit, they used to play Shaman King and Ultimate Muscle. They were just random ass shows that came on. I didn't know what the fuck they were supposed to be. I thought they were just Pokemon and Digimon ripoffs. But I will say this. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you and I talk about? Apparently there's rumors that they're bringing Trigun back.
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, apparently, because they never finished Trigun Maximum, which I remember that manga. But apparently from what I've read, they're gonna go the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood route with Trigun.
Okay,
they
more
so follow the actual story, because a lot of people say that the original Trigun anime that everyone loves was mostly filler stuff.
That's how Full Metal. That's why they had to make Brotherhood for Full Metal Alchemist, because a lot of people watch the original Full Metal Alchemist. That show has nothing in common with the actual real story of Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is how the manga goes. Full Metal Alchemist, just regular Full Metal Alchemist, it just goes off into the weeds on its own, it's like short of like some of the stuff that happens like early on, the stuff with like Colonel Mays Hughes, the Dr. Show and his daughter, and him turning her into a chimera, and all the stuff that happened in that town, where they had the folks that were believing that the dude was like a real savior or whatever. Yeah, all that shit happens. But beyond that, that show goes off in a whole other direction. So yeah, if they did that with Trigun, I'd be fine with it, because it's kind of like what they did with Hellsing. When they, what was it, Hellsing Ultimate? Yeah, like yeah.
Ultimate was fire.
Oh yeah, no, that's Hellsing. The only good thing about the original Full Metal Alchemist is I really like the theme song "Ready Steady Go" by was it Lark and CL. I like that. That's the only thing about the original Full Metal Alchemist I liked after seeing Brotherhood. I was like, I cannot go back and watch that original bullshit. We got one here from Extra. It says, want to get back into video games. I'm a JRPG vet. Could you recommend me a game? I will recommend you one of the greatest games of all time.
Better not be that Final Fantasy VII remake. You better not say it.
I haven't even played that shit all the way through. No, I was going to say Persona. If you're on Steam, I would recommend picking up Persona 4 The Golden. Great game. Fantastic game. I would also recommend you check out Persona 5 The Royal. Very good game. Those are some of the JRPGs I played as of late. I will also say, if you are a fan or ever were a fan of the Tales games, I'm talking about the like Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Vesperia, stuff like that. If you ever play games like that, I also recommend there's a game that came out a few years ago, Tales of Berseria, which is really good. And the more recent one that came out just this past year, Tales of Arise. Fantastic JRPGs. Fan-fucking-tastic JRPGs. But yeah. Let's see here. Said Malekith the Black Blade. Yeah, no, Malekith's a motherfucker. But I figured out how to cheese Malekith, and every time I figure out how to cheese a boss, it changes how I look at him. It changes how I view him from there on out. Let's see here. Let's see here. Go Conjurers Baby followed with a $5 super chat says, mutants got Mars. Do you see other minorities inhabiting the other planets in the Earth's solar system? See the racists on Earth punch in the air. You know what? I would say I could see Wakanda, doing their own thing, but they already have the intergalactic empire, so they don't even need. They have the far reaches of space. They didn't take over shit far the fuck away from Earth. But man, could you imagine how mad white folks would be if Wakanda went to like Venus or Jupiter or some shit?
It wouldn't even be a matter of like. Well, yes, it would. It'd be more so a matter of why do they get the new toy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
That's really what it would be. Why couldn't we get up there first? They can have this.
Well, yeah.
We can swap. No.
That's what they did, because that's what they did with the mutants. If you go back and look at some of like the data pages and shit, some of the stuff from Planet Size X-Men #1, it was folks mad. So like, well. We were supposed to do that. Why couldn't they have worked with, like, there was a part where like I think they showed NASA was in their feelings like, well, we kind of wish that the X-Men would have hit us up and we could have worked together on, like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
That's what surprised me a lot with all the X stuff, because I really thought that like, okay, the human mutant stuff would be done now because they basically away from y'all. But now you just mad for a completely different reason to where it's racially charged now.
Hold on. Herbert Scott said, can I interest you young ninjas into watching The Young and the Restless? It's only 50 years of content, cuh. Bruh, let me tell you something. I used to have to watch The Young and the Restless whenever I stayed home from school and my granny was still alive, because she used to watch that shit, because it was her stories. You didn't bruh, she watched all of them, and I remember every time I was like, Lord, what has Victor done now? It was always Victor. Wait, I think Victor done finally passed. I think the actor who played Victor on Young and the Restless, he finally gone.
See, you had to deal with that. I had to deal with my grandmother in Days of Our Lives. It's fucking Stefano.
Oh, Lord.
Fucking John and fucking John Black, who died, but then he wasn't really dead. But now because he thought he died, he had a heel turn. He had an edge now.
Lord.
He was,
Oh, my
oh,
God.
God.
Oh, Elite X1 brought up Dragon's Dogma. Also an amazing game. Actually, I think I've said this before. Dragon's Dogma is a game that basically convinced me to try Dark Souls.
So there are rumors circulating. This might excite you that we might be getting an announcement sometime soon to either a sequel or a actual remake
Of Dragon's Dogma? Okay, I would be totally into that. I love it. And here's the thing. Dragon's Dogma and Dark Souls aren't really anything alike, but just the style of the minimalist storytelling, the kind of vaguely open world enemies that are kind of tricky. That's kind of what I mean when I say it opened my eyes up to maybe I should try Dark Souls out again. And that's how it worked out. And I ended up really Dragon's Dogma is so good. I love that game so much. And the DLC they came out with it. Ooh, man. Anyway. Miss Bonds had me on that Young and the Restless every summer. Heavy. Yes. Oh, my God. Said Venom Absolute said Victor is still causing shit on that damn show. Lord, How old is... Wait, hold on. I gotta look him up now. Victor, Young, and the Restless. Lord, I didn't have to type it all out. Victor Newman. This man's still alive. Hold on, wait a minute. How old is this man? This man 81 years old. How Victor out here still clapping cheeks like this? Bruh, okay, hold on. Let me show you. I want to show y'all something. This was let me see. Let me get a good picture. I want to get a good picture. Good picture of Victor. Lord, oh my Lord, this man is still out here. Hold on, Carter, look at this shit. This was Victor back when me and Carter were coming up. That was Victor when me and Carter were coming up. This Victor now, Lord have mercy, he out here still causing problems. This man out here still causing problems. He out here. Lord, This man out here still causing problems. Wait a minute. What is he doing? Oh, goddamn. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway. But yes. Let's see here. Good God. Anyway, y'all, I think that's it. I think that's the show, y'all. I think that's the show, y'all. Because we 3 hours and 30 some odd minutes in. I think that's the show. Carter, man, you have any closing statements? Anything you want to share with everyone?
Not after that.
Oh man. I do want to say thank you guys. Thank you all for tuning in, making this show awesome like y'all do every time. I do want to say real quick, just a little quick thing, because I think some of you who are probably patrons or channel members, you probably know about it by now too, if you've seen the recent top 5 comics of the week. I can report I am feeling infinitely better. The stomach pains and cramps that I was dealing with Tuesday, leading all the way up until literally most of yesterday, they have finally gone away. I will be going to the doctor here on the earliest appointment I can give is the 21st, so it'll be literally 10 days from now. Or 10 or so days from now. And hopefully we'll get some good news. Hopefully we'll learn what it is. We're not really sure what the hell is going on with me, but just know, I'll tell you all the same thing I told the people on Patreon and in Blerd Club. It is not, I'm not saying this for sympathy, not saying this for y'all to worry about me. I'm just letting you know that if there comes a week where y'all don't hear from your boy, like y'all don't get a video, don't freak out. It's probably just the fact that I just don't feel well. It's kind of been up and down, come and go, touch and go. So yeah. But that said, I don't think it's anything super duper mega ultra like serious yet. But I will kind of keep you guys updated as I learn things, and I hope you guys get to enjoy the rest of your weekends. I hope you guys are chilling, living the good life, focusing on yourselves, and just doing all the things you want to do. Don't I'm not saying y'all got to be out here like Victor, but just do your thing.
Why
Just do your thing. Just do your thing. But I will see you all next time. We'll probably, we're not going to do a video. I don't think there are going to be any more videos this week. If there is any other video, there might be one for, Thor number 26, but if that, but otherwise, just kind of keep it locked here. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell if you have not done so already. We love you, 3,000. Catch you next time.